Live from the home of the Firebirds, Lakota West High School, it's time for tonight's girls-boys doubleheader on the hardwood here at Lakota West High School. The Firebirds getting set for two huge games in the GMC on their home floor against these Princeton Vikings. We are here to bring you both games here tonight, just about 8.5 minutes away from tip-off on the women's game here in Westchester. Thanks for tuning in to Lakota West Student Broadcasting. I'm Nick Johnson, taking you along the way tonight on the play-by-play alongside our analyst for the first game, Noah Bramble. Andrew Odell will be joining us later on for the men's game. But Noah, this is a big game coming up for these Lakota West girls, taking on a Princeton Vikings team that is one of the top teams in Ohio, boasting a 13-1 record, undefeated 8-0 in the GMC. However, they are a little bit, struggling more towards the later half of the season. They are coming off of a 59-57 win against East, and we know how these Firebirds performed against East, so lots to be said about this Vikings team. They are looking at this game to kind of get right and get back to being as dominant as they were, but if you're Lakota West, you see this game as an opportunity, no doubt. So how are you going to, how is this energy in this arena with the doubleheader playing Princeton? How is this all going to affect these girls on the hardwood tonight?
Well, we can all expect a huge crowd here today. You got Lakota West girls team varsity right here, tip-off coming soon to you, and then right after you got the men's team who's also playing in a big game against Princeton. But if you're Lakota West here, you're fighting for GMC contention, and those top teams, Mason, Lakota East, teams like and Princeton, you've already dropped two to Lakota East, and Mason, and now you got Princeton, who's top of the table for GMC. And if you win one here, that's huge for the end of the season, because you do have to play them as your last game of the GMC regular season. So if you get one here, you're a lot comfortable going into those games of East and Mason. It'd be a huge turning point for this team, as this team is 9-1 in their past 10 games. Huge for Lakota West. They can pull off this upset. That'll be huge for them walking forward into the later half of the season.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if you can hear the song playing on the speakers in the arena here right now, but I'll tell you what, it's very fitting. These Lakota West girls on the floor lately, they have been hot. They have not lost a game since December 28th against Miami Senior, one of the top public school teams in the state of Florida. Their last GMC loss, December 9th at Mason, and we can speak from experience about knowing how good that Mason team can be. This Princeton Vikings team is currently competing with the Mason Comets at the top of the GMC right now. In fact, these Vikings looking for their first sole GMC title since 2013, 2014. But I think we can also say, coming in against the Princeton team, just how good they are. That momentum, it's not going to mean a whole lot, but it sure is going to be a contributing factor tonight for these Firebirds.
Yeah, I mean, Princeton coming into here, only 11, let me get this right for y'all, 13-1 and 8-0 in the GMC, so they are picture perfect coming into this game in the GMC. Lakota West on the other side, 11-3, not doing as great, 9-1 though, so in the past 10 games, so they are coming in with a lot of heat. Everybody's starting to click on all cylinders. Your captain out here, Katie Fox, the sophomore, had a little rocky start this season, not doing great shooting, but she's starting to figure that out. Once she went to Florida, came back, and now she's clicking on all cylinders, and everybody else on this team. You had Cindy Williams with an injury up until, I think, mid-December, and now everything's coming together. All the pieces that you were planning on having at the beginning of the season now are clicking on all cylinders. You're coming in here with a lot of momentum, and this is the big game. If you can beat Princeton, again, you're going to have a lot of momentum.
Well, I'll tell you what, you mentioned Sydney Williams making her return December 16th at home against the Fairfield Indians. But in a sense, Katie Fox has also made a return of her own on the floor. We were talking about in the pregame how much she struggled at the beginning of the season, not just from behind the arc from 3 points, where she had a miserable stretch there for a while, and those are never fun to play through. Those are never fun to watch. Those are never fun as a teammate to watch your team go through something like that. But she has definitely rebounded as of late. She is now the new top scorer for these Lakota West Firebirds, averaging nearly 15 points a game after she was really struggling to get anything to fall early on in the season. And 5 out of her last 7 games with the Firebirds, 20-plus points coming off the floor. She's going to need to have a big game if these Firebirds want to get something going against the Vikings.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to score a lot in this game, because Princeton is known for putting up points early, getting ahead before half, and just staying ahead. One thing you have to do is you have to stop that number 3 guard, junior guard for Princeton, Mari Gurdon. She is a huge factor for the East Princeton Vikings. Doesn't look like she'll be part of the starting 5 for them, but she will be subbing in early, and she will be making an impact. So defense is going to be key for these Firebirds here today. They have to get out early and get ahead and stay ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned Mari Gurton. Interesting to see her not in the starting 5. To our knowledge, there is no injury concerns there. So this is purely just a starting 5 move. We will let you know if we learn any information if she does not make an appearance in this game. But from our perspective, we are not seeing her in our starting 5, which we will get to in just a moment. But you mentioned it there, averaging over 22 points per game. She leads the Vikings in points per game as well as rebounds per game with 3.3. The Princeton Vikings last season, their incredible season where they fell just short to the Mason Comets and the GMC. They had 2 first-team All-GMC players. One was senior Soleil Williams, who is no longer with the team after graduation, and the other was Mari Gurton, the junior, the 5'8 guard, and we're hopefully going to see her on this floor tonight, as we mentioned with the starting 5. That might be a little weird tonight, but she is a big piece to this Princeton Vikings offense. You got to learn how to stop her if you're Coach Fishman and the Firebirds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to start any rumors, but I'm looking down at the court, and I'm not seeing her anywhere on the court for these Princeton Vikings. Again, we know nothing about injuries. We know nothing about anything, but the one thing that we do know is a couple weeks ago, she did not play at all versus Fairfield. We don't know if that's injury or not. We do not know anything. There's no speculation up here in the booth, but we do not see her out on the court. So that could be a huge factor for Lakota West. But for Princeton, somebody's got to step up and be that key player for Princeton here. Lakota West on the other side, you have to rely on your main starters, Sydney Williams, Caroline Bailiff, Madison Parker, Reese Johnson. You all got to look up to them. And when things get tough, when Princeton starts getting a run, because they will have a few runs in this game where they're just putting up points like it's no tomorrow, you have to look to those senior starters, not senior starters, but well-known starters to this offense and defense, and you got to look up to them and say, hey, it's okay, we got to settle down here. Let's get back into this game.
Yeah, and being able to coach through a lot of those big runs, you like to have a guy like Coach Fishman on your side. These are his numbers from before the season as far as total record goes, and obviously you see the playoff appearances there. He knows how to coach a team. He knows what he's doing. And now you take a look at the schedule, a couple of postponements here in the back half of the season due to the weather. Of course, we've had a couple of broadcasts get canceled. Not too fond of that one. But you look at just how hot this team is. You look at all that green, not so much red since the beginning of the season. That Lakota East game looming large. You'd like to go back and snag that one if you're these Firebirds. But unfortunately, you just got to deal with that red for now. They will get back at them this Saturday. Will be a combined stream with Lakota East yet again at Lakota East. You can find it here on our page. We'll be bringing you round 2 of that matchup. But moments away from tip-off here for round 1 of today's doubleheader. The girls getting ready to go here on the hardwood in Westchester, and we do have confirmation. Mari Gurton, the junior 5'8 guard, 22 points per game for the Princeton Vikings, is out in street clothes on the Princeton bench. How big of a loss do you think that is for the Vikings, and how much is it going to help out these Firebirds on defense tonight?
Oh, it's going to help Lakota West tremendously. You look down at that stat sheet and you see 22.2 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game, leading her team in all categories. That's going to be a huge loss for Princeton. Again, as I said in pregame, someone's going to have to step up for these Princeton Vikings and really show those coaches that they can play. It's a really big moment for whoever that fifth player is for Princeton.
Lily Johnson, no good on the inside. Princeton Vikings look to christen the scoreboard. It is up and no good. Caitlin Barber trying to come up with the loose ball, out of bounds. Vikings will maintain possession of the basketball. Firebirds winning the tip there. They're going to need to get going. How important are these early runs going to be?
Oh, they're going to be huge. If you let Princeton get up ahead by a lot early, by 10 plus, it's gonna be a haul trying to get back into this game. You're gonna have a lot of big runs for your Lakota West. It's way easier just to have that smooth margin of points where you just points after points instead of having to get it all in one bunch at the end of the game.
Big interior D there for the Firebirds. Caroline Bailiff coming up with the basketball, and the score remains 0-0 here on the floor in Westchester. Firebirds looking to get going about a minute into the contest. Here's Katie Fox, able to find Johnson up at the top of the floor. Firebirds got to keep strong on that offensive side of the basketball. Can't let Princeton take an early lead on you the way that their season has been going, how dominant they've been, and yet they will strike first. Quick J2 inside, and the Princeton Vikings will jump out in front 2-0. Quick 2 points on the scoreboard for Haven Sneed, the sophomore 5'4" guard. But here's Lily Johnson looking to retaliate. Quick bounce pass. And one! Firebirds draw the end one. There's Jada Nielsen. One of the big sophomores making her dominant force felt inside the paint.
That is huge. I mean, last year didn't get a lot of time on varsity, and at the beginning of the year didn't have a lot of time on varsity. Then all of a sudden she stepped in the scene around November, and it's been a starter ever since. That is a huge opportunity for her, and she nails the free throw afterwards. 3-point play for Lakota West. It's trying to stay on top here in the first quarter.
And we know what Nielsen can do on defense. Just got to look at what she's capable of in the paint on offense, coming up with the and one, as we'll see another quick foul here in the defensive paint for the Firebirds. Princeton going to the line for two, rather. Caitlin Barber will be called for her first foul of the contest.
Well, it may not look it from your TV screen, but even though it doesn't look like there's a ton of people here, it is loud in this gym, especially when the ball is going on the court. It is loud as it can be in here. I haven't heard it as loud for a girls varsity game in a long time. This is a huge game for Lakota West. They want this win.
Anytime high schoolers know that their team is going up against top competition in the state, you know you're going to be able to feel it on your home floor. Even when you're away, I mean, all the people that make the trip out there to support your team, these games always get loud, and that might even be a factor from some of the students here today. Is Katie Fox. Little spin cycle before she knocks it down. 5-3 lead for the Firebirds. Vikings quick to try and strike there. Jada Nielsen, little too far on the step with the basketball. Touches the baseline, turns it right back over to the Vikings.
Now, Vikings are playing their normal offense of speed up as fast as you can and get those quick breaks to get them on their heels and score early. But Lakota West is sticking with them, even though it looks like sometimes that they're a little out of control. Princeton's playing this really high press against them in Lakota West's own half when they're on offense, and they're breaking it like no tomorrow. Bailiff is running down the court, 1 or 2 passes, and they're free. As you get an air ball there for the Vikings, and you're going to get the ball right back. I had to talk, and it still says with Lakota West now, you got to really stay in command of this game. Don't let Princeton take control of it, the tempo, and you're going to be just fine.
And you can read the body language. West wants this one, the physicality they've come out with so far, as Princeton trying for a quick strike again. Push on Jada Nielsen, but the basketball fall for Kiera Harris, the freshman 5'9" forward. 5:15 remain. We're all tied up at 5 here in the first period. Firebirds with the basketball looking to regain their lead. You can see Dee Davis getting loud down there on the sideline for these Princeton Vikings. Not the way they want to start this game without their star, as Katie Fox overshoots it just a little bit. Off the back of the iron, no good on the 3 ball. Under 5. Vikings on the fast break, no good. They do come down with the offensive board. Haven Sneed with the basketball at the top of the floor, looking to reset the look. Still 5-all in Westchester.
Watch this. They're going to try to get an easy bucket here with a nice little layup.
And those are some great moves from Haven Sneed, just unable to come down with the easy deuce. But here's Jada Nielsen. She goes up and she'll draw another foul. Second foul she's taken on the day. This one won't be an and one, but it will give the Firebirds a chance to take a 7-5 lead on their home floor.
She is beating herself up for that after that foul. She really wanted that and one. She knows how much this means for Lakota West to be able to get up early, and that's definitely something that Fishman was preaching in the locker room. I guarantee it.
Nielsen, first shot is up and good. She's up to 4 points on her day. 2 players making up the 6 for the Firebirds right now. It's Nielsen with 4, Katie Fox with 2. Sydney Williams subbed in for these Firebirds. Second shot up and good, 7-5.
Jay Nielsen 3 for 3 from free throw line. Perfect on the day.
Here's a quick 3 for the Princeton Vikings, and it will fall. Paris Reed getting it to go. She only averages about 4 points per game. She just got 3 of them right there. Caroline Bailiff will take this ball in the corner, tries to make a drive, kicks it out to Williams, and she says right back at you. Firebirds retaliate with a 3 ball of their own.
You got to watch out for this fast break. They love to do it.
And they will end up making it work on the inside. Vikings coming up with 2 more. Callie Fortson in the paint, making things work for the Vikings. Caroline Bailiff taking advantage of a great look up at the top. Firebirds up by 3 more, 13-9.
You cannot let these Firebirds, you can't leave them on an island like that. They're going to bury that all day. She's kind of looked at her from the free throw line. It's like, take the shot. And just like that, they're going to bury it.
Timeout taken, but how about Sydney Williams on that last play, getting a poke in on that ball, taking it to the sideline. Princeton already down to timeout. They'll have 4 remaining. We'll be right back from the home of the Firebirds, Lakota West High School, on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Back after the Princeton Viking timeout here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting, taking you along the way tonight. I'm Nick Johnson alongside our analyst Noah Bramble in game 1 of this doubleheader. And I'd say that's a pretty solid start for these Firebirds. First time we've seen them tip off against the Vikings this year, and that's exactly how you want to handle them as the Vikings go up and will get fouled. They'll take 2 from the line.
Yeah, you want to keep that Princeton sideline as quiet as possible and control the tempo. That's what Lakota West has been doing in this first quarter. See if they'll be able to maintain that through the game. That's something that a lot of teams are not able to do.
Misspoke earlier in the game. It is not Girton who leads the Vikings in rebounds. That would be Callie Fortson, who is at the line right now, 8.5. Drains her first shot, looks to make it a 2-point game with her second. 13-10, she's no good. Defensive board for Jada Nielsen. Katie Fox taking over for the Firebirds. Looks for an open player at the top of the floor. She gets it to Sydney Williams. Williams for 3. No good off the front of the iron. Bailiff tries to save the basketball. She will. Here's Williams. Drive to the inside. No good. Another offensive rebound. Nielsen with the pass to Rolling, and a harsh rejection as Rolling goes up. Vikings playing some physical defense here early on.
They will do that all game. They're going to be up in your face on defense all day. They're not going to give you anything easy unless it was earlier from 3, which is very uncharacteristic. Like that, they're just going to let Katie Fox take that. That's very risky, and I know she hadn't been shooting like she was in the first half of the season, but that's very risky.
A big missed chance for second chance points there for the Firebirds. Points that could be much needed later on in the night as the Firebirds look to be the first GMC team to knock off these Princeton Vikings. That's going to be a big foul on the inside. Vikings with yet another on their tally. First foul of the day for Callie Fortson.
Back in for the Firebirds, number 23, Lily Johnson.
Firebirds going to take over. You hear the substitution from the PA guy there, Lily Johnson, tapping back in for these Firebirds. 3 fouls on the first quarter for the Princeton Vikings. Here's Katie Fox. Finds Sydney Williams on the near side wing. She's being double teamed. Now Fox with an open look. Corner 3, and it spins out. Rolling is able to come up with the rebound, and she has it poked away. Vikings take over. Sneed on the fast break. 2-on-2. Goes up. No good. Just to the left. Sneed will recover her own offensive rebound. Kicked outside. 3-point game. Think the Vikings look to tie it, or they play it safe, go to the inside?
I'd play it safe. There's no need to tie it right now. You just got to stick with them, especially if you're Princeton. You're coming into this game thinking that you're going to win it. You just got to stay in this game as long as possible.
And we'll call that the rolling revenge play right there. Gets right back at the Princeton Vikings. Says, nah, baby, nah. Sends that one to the sideline. 13-10 remains the score. Vikings keep the basketball.
Well-earned break for Rolling there. She'll be back on the court as sooner than you think. She's a viable part of this defense.
Vikings make a push for the inside. It's Harris kicking it back out to Naomi Wyant. And there's Sneed, goes up, hits the bottom of the backboard. Nielsen comes up with the basketball for the Firebirds. She kicks it to Bailiff. Long pass down to midcourt. That's Katie Fox. Fox and Bailiff with some back and forth here to start the possession. Bailiff in some trouble, looks to ditch it off. Tries to get it to Johnson. Ball tipped by Kiara Harris. But the freshman will send it out of bounds off the red and white. Well, I guess both teams red and white. Princeton in their all red. Firebirds coming out in their all white uniforms for game 1 of this doubleheader. Coaches versus Cancer. The event here tonight at Lakota West High School as Sydney Williams receives the inbound. Bad pass. Katie Fox tries to send it through the knees of Callie Fortson. They'll say she stepped out of bounds for saving that basketball.
And this is one of those times that we're talking about. You're ahead right now, but that's probably gonna change knowing this Vikings offense. You just gotta relax, play your game, and don't let them take control of it.
Sydney Williams playing some great defense again. Going up, I believe she got a couple fingers on that basketball, sending it over the head of Coach Fishman and that Firebirds bench.
And I always say, if Fishman's screaming at them, his players, they're playing well. And right now, he's screaming at his players. So I'd like to say we are doing well, but going into this second quarter, it would be amazing if we had the lead. You just want to stretch it as long as possible.
Here's Lily Johnson. Too much on that 3 ball, no good. 13-12, still our score. Princeton fast down the court, and they're able to go up and come down with that one. Paris Reed able to take a Princeton Vikings lead, 14-13. Here's Bailiff with the basketball, kicks it back out. Nielsen, jumper from inside, no good. Fox with the offensive rebound, goes up, and she will be fouled. If you're Dee Davis down there, head coach, these Princeton Vikings taking this lead 14-13, you got to be feeling better towards the end of this first quarter. But I can't imagine she's happy with the team her Vikings have played so far.
No, she wants to do what she normally does, get up and get up early. But again, without one of your key players and Murray Gurton, something's going to be off on that offense. Somebody has to step up. And right now, they're doing pretty well. I'd like to say they're sticking with them. You know, Lakota West is one of those teams that's just going to battle all the way through. And we'll see if Princeton will be able to take the lead coming up here in the second quarter.
Katie Fox knocking down both from the line. 15-14 ball game as Fox will pick up her 3rd and 4th points of the quarter. Vikings to inbound it here. It's Sania Carr. Sorry. Couple of mispronunciations so far. Lots of energy with this doubleheader. And even we can feel it up here as Caroline Bailiff coming up with that loose basketball. Now Katie Fox with the turnover there. Ball's across the half-court line, and it looks like we're going to have a tie-up. The Vikings will have the arrow. They'll take over with 8 seconds remaining. Good stoppages, some time there, running some seconds off the clock. Caroline Bailiff taking over that basketball.
Looks like Sydney Williams getting some marching orders from Coach Fishman there.
And they're not even going to get a shot off. Physical defense there from the Firebirds prevent anything. They won the first quarter, 15-14. Can they win the next three and be the first GMC team to knock off these Princeton Vikings this season? We'll find out when we return for game one of our doubleheader on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Stick with us. And we're back from Lakota West High School, game one of this doubleheader, and also the Coaches vs. Cancer girls basketball game. Part of game one here tonight in Westchester. There's the link to donate. All the proceeds for tonight's event going towards the American Cancer Society. If you have not made it out tonight yet, feel free to donate using that QR code. The girls basketball team obviously working hard, putting tonight together for the American Cancer Society. Great fundraiser as we take back to the action. And a double dribble called on Katie Fox. Firebirds winning 14-15 after quarter number one. Obviously big factors at play on that Princeton sideline. Number 3, Mari Girton, is out, the leading scorer in the GMC in terms of points per game. So 22 points on average gone from this Vikings offense. How do you think D. Davis has adjusted so far early on for these Vikings as they go up and take the lead right there?
I don't think you do. I mean, you've been sticking with them. Lakota West has been playing really good and pretty much unconsciously. I say you just stick with your game plan, see what happens, because right now you're just sticking with them until they make their changes. And right now, Lakota West is looking a little sloppy. They had a pretty big lead against Princeton, or what you can call a big lead against Princeton. And it's starting to fade, and it did fade, and now Lakota West is playing catch-up versus Princeton, which is not a place you want to be.
Here's Katie Fox on the near side wing, able to find Lily Johnson. Johnson, the senior. Gonna see a foul on the inside there. And it's going to be a blocking foul on the Princeton Vikings. Number 24, Haven Sneed, the sophomore 5'4" guard, getting called the first foul of the second quarter, going to the Princeton Vikings. Here's Williams in the corner, and she's going to lose that basketball. Fundamental mishaps. Can't have it if you're the Firebirds.
Again, just being a little too sloppy here. If you're Lakota West, you got to get a little bit more crisp. Like you have the intent that you had in the first half, early in the first quarter, and you'll be just fine. Just if you're Coach Fishman, just focus back up and just recenter yourself.
Seems to be sloppiness all around as the Vikings will turn that one over. Do have a conference between referees, and now, wow, they're going to say the Princeton Vikings will keep that basketball. You can hear a few groans from the Princeton Vikings side of the arena. Didn't think they were going to get that overturned, but it will be a Viking inbound. Paris Reed, the senior guard, will be set on the sideline. Champion at the top of the floor for the Vikings. 6:45 remaining in the second quarter. Tight defense from Caitlin Barber. Quick jumper inside, overshot, another air ball. Second we've seen from the Vikings here tonight as they turn it over.
Here you go, you have a chance to put yourself ahead with a two-pointer. Don't look for three. I know the three ball is very tempting, but haven't been great from three today. Had two really big ones from Sydney Williams and Caroline Bailiff, but haven't really produced anything else since then.
Here's Katie Fox. Had a drive to the inside, kicks it back out. Fishman doesn't seem too happy about the decision. She pump fakes a 3 there. Thought about it in the left corner. Firebirds on offense a little bit discombobulated as Sydney Williams looks to take the lead for the Firebirds, and she will. 17-16, our new score from the west side. 5 minutes, 50 seconds in period number 2. Well, the Princeton Vikings with a great look right here. Contact on the way to the rim, and they're going to call that a blocked foul. I see you don't seem to like that call up here, Bramble.
I thought her feet were set, but I don't know. I think that goes West's way, and a little smirk from Sydney Williams knowing that Princeton got away with one there. But if you're Lakota West, just get right back in this game. You know, do what you've been doing, and good things will happen. Keep shooting, and they will learn to fall.
Vikings to the line as Sydney Williams will pick up her first. Cameron Lau, the 5'8 freshman, takes to the free throw line, averages about a point per game. She picked up her point right there. See if she can come down with her second of the ball game at the line. Up and good, 18-17 ball game as we continue to go back and forth here at Lakota West. Sydney Williams taking over the basketball now for the Firebirds. 5.5 minutes remain. West looking to get back and going on offense. Vikings want a whistle. And we are going to get a timeout called. Fishman not looking too happy with the state of his offense at the moment as we get the first West Side timeout call of the ball game. Each team with 4 remaining. We'll be right back from the West Side. 18-17 Vikings when we return.
That is wild.
Fox set to inbound here for the Firebirds after the Coach Fishman timeout. She'll find Caroline Bailiff from beyond the arc as we welcome you back into this Lakota West student broadcast. Game 1 of this doubleheader. Taking you along the way tonight, I'm Nick Johnson alongside our analyst for game number 1, Noah Bramble. Andrew Odell will be joining us in the booth for game 2, the men's varsity game. As the Firebirds go up and get one there, Lily Johnson, who appears injured after coming down hard on the floor after picking up the 2. She is back in there playing defense. Did you see what happened there inside?
Yeah, it looks like she got fouled there. Princeton got away with one, and then something with her hand. I don't know what it was, but something on her hand looks like it's hurting. I don't know what finger it is, but she was looking towards the middle, or one of her 2 middle fingers.
Vikings regain their lead right there, 20-19 ball game. 4:40 remain. Firebirds looking to regain some heat and momentum on that offensive side of the basketball. Here's Madison Parker, just checked in after the timeout. Johnson loses the basketball. She tries to make a drive. Vikings try to draw the charge there, no avail. And there is no 3, contradictory to what our scoreboard may say. No good on the 3-point field goal for Lily Johnson.
Well, maybe on both sides, Princeton and Lakota West got away with one there, and Princeton will have an easy layup there as number 21 for Princeton, Kylie Fortson, will just slick by that Lakota West defense for an easy layup.
Vikings make it a 3-point game. Firebirds down to 3 timeouts as Coach Fishman takes another, possibly for the injury, possibly to get his team right, not allowing Princeton to gain any momentum with 4 minutes remaining until half. Halfway through the period, we'll be right back on the other side of the timeout on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Firebirds set to inbound after their second called timeout of the ball game. They're down to 3 with 4 minutes remaining in period number 2. They trail by 3, 22-19 the score. Vikings starting to get going really for the first time today. Firebirds need to get back up and running to stay competitive with one of the top teams in Ohio on their home floor. As Firebirds go up, want a foul there, not going to get it. They still trail by 3. Vikings try to get going on the offensive side, keeping that quick pace. They turn it right back over. Bounce inside. Johnson still in the game after potentially suffering a hand injury. Of course, we have no confirmation on one of her previous layups. Katie Fox will take 2 back for the Firebirds. Back to a 1-point ball game as the Vikings take back over. Vikings inside, stealing another 2 right there. 24-21 our score. Basketball action heating up in Westchester. Nielsen no good on the easy 2. That's some points that the Firebirds needed right there.
There's a lot of mishaps that are happening for Lakota West, and Fishman, you can see it down on the court, is not happy about it. You got to get back in this game, focus up, because it's very sloppy right now.
And we knew these Princeton runs are going to happen. You'll have that with a team like this. You got to know how to adjust, how to come back, as Bailiff essentially double blocked right there. We are going to get a kicked ball, and it'll send it the Princeton Vikings way. Easy way to recover that one. 5-point deficit for the Firebirds. It stands 26-21, 2:45 remaining till we take to the locker rooms.
And this is how Princeton rolls. They stick it. You think you had a chance against them, and then they get these runs against you. Now, if you're Lakota West, you really have to focus up and settle things down. Again, Princeton is you're now playing at Princeton's tempo. You have to change that. Play at Lakota West tempo, which is much different. You're much more relaxed than you are when you're playing against another team at their tempo.
Vikings with the inbound. Tight defense up the court for the Firebirds. Vikings able to get it down. We'll see Sneed on the inside draw a foul for the Vikings. 2 more shots from the line.
Firebirds foul number 5, Sydney Williams at the line for Princeton. 24.
Rose Williams is going to pick up her second to go along with her 5 points on the day. Good spread for the scoring as far as Firebird offense goes. Nielsen with 5, Williams with 5, Bailiff with 3, Katie Fox with 6. They're all out on the floor right now. Only player on the floor who hasn't scored, number 21, the freshman Reese Johnson. Shot up and good on the second free throw attempt for the Vikings. 28-21 our score. Fox takes over for the Firebirds, now under 2.5. Bailiff trying to find the open man, finds Williams on that far side wing. Passing across the floor, finds Nielsen. Travel violation called for. More self-inflicted wounds in this game, starting to run away.
It's just one of those parts where halftime cannot get any closer. And it just feels like everything's slipping away, like you're not playing the game that you learned for your whole life. It just feels different and it looks different from every aspect of the game.
Vikings take over around 2 minutes remaining in this one. Sneed getting double teamed on that near corner, and Reese Johnson practically takes it out of her hands, but it will fall out of bounds. Vikings will take that one back over, but a great defensive effort. Here go the Vikings in the corner now. Naomi Wyatt. Find someone else at the top of the key. Quick drive to the basket, no good. Lots of contact inside, and we're going to get a jump ball called as the Firebirds trail by 7.
Back in the game for the Vikings, number 21, Callie Forston.
Princeton set to inbound here. It's Paris Reed, the senior, goes right under the rim. No good on the quick 2, but a foul called for. You can see Caroline Bailiff's expression there. Not too happy about that one. Jada Nielsen will take the foul, however. It'll be her first of the night. And Callie Fortson goes to the line here. Of course, Fortson, name is familiar, daughter of the great Danny Fortson. UC basketball legend. First shot is up and no good.
Right there before Caroline Booth went out to the outside that three-point ring, she looked towards the ref and started going, she's putting her elbow in my back the whole time and trying to get a message across that she's getting fouled all the time. And for the whole game, I saw that expression on her face, like, why am I not getting fouled? And I didn't understand it. And she's trying to get that call now.
Fortson getting set for shot number 2 from the line. Averages about 11 points per game. Right now, she sits at 12. Vikings coming up with more second chance points, and they get that one to fall. Paris Reed makes it a 9-point ball game. Firebirds moving with some urgency as we approach the half. Fox loses the basketball. Vikings take back over. It's a 1-on-2. Pace slowed down, lots of contact there, and Lily Johnson drawing the charge. Firebirds will take it back over.
There we go. Now you have to play with some urgency again, but last possession is out of control. You have to stay within yourself here.
1:20 remain as we get set for the inbound. It's Reese Johnson. We'll find Katie Fox.
Again, don't try to do anything fancy here. Just stay within yourself, play your offense. You got a minute left. You can get some points here if you play like you know how to play.
Thought she had the end one there, but Lily Johnson going to be content with 2 from the line. Firebirds just need points at this point in the game. They have a chance for 2 right here.
23, Lily Johnson.
Johnson, the second leading scorer for these Firebirds this season. Averages about 12.5 per game. Also about 4.5 rebounds. Big player in that starting 5 for the Firebirds. Shot number 2, up and no good. Firebirds 0 for 2 there, and you can see her shake off the hand, maybe still remaining discomfort from that injury. As the Firebirds still trail 9 here, now under a minute.
And that's very concerning because she keeps doing that. And I've seen her do that 3 or 4 times in the past minute and a half.
Here's Reese Johnson, goes up, gets denied inside. And you can see the frustration visibly building in some of these Firebirds. And of course, just going back to Johnson, I think you gotta hope that she can go to the locker room, get something taped up, get something iced. I mean, she's a big part of this Firebirds team, not just on defense, but offense as well. I mean, you'd love to see her get back in this one. Only 2 points on her day so far.
And yeah, but that's when she usually plays really good out of nowhere in the second half. She just kind of shows up and then starts putting down points and M1s out of nowhere.
Katie Fox opening the bank on that last score. 7-point deficit. Big 3 for Fairfield, their third for Princeton. Another air ball coming up in that corner. Lily Johnson on a drive. She loses it. And they're going to call a little grab right there for Princeton, not Fairfield Indians.
Princeton foul. Number 2, Naomi Wyatt.
It's all the red schools. I'll tell you what, I get them mixed up all the time. And I think these girls would much rather be playing the Fairfield Indians right now, as competitive as these Princeton Vikings are in this conference. But they seem to be holding their own as we approach the half.
Coleraine, West Fairfield, Princeton, all the same.
There's 5-second violation for Bailiff. Couldn't get it off in time. Remains 7-point deficit for the West Side. 30-23 our score.
For the Firebirds, number 1, Caitlin Barber.
Firebirds playing defense to the half here, under 10 seconds. Trying to close what looks they can. Quick corner 3, 4th air ball. Nielsen recovers, no timeout. There's the buzzer. Fox can't get a shot off. We head to half. Not the nightmare scenario for these Firebirds, but not exactly what we thought was going to happen after the first quarter of play. It's a 30-23 ball game. Princeton Vikings in control on the road in enemy territory here in Westchester. We still got another half of basketball to play in this one and a full men's varsity contest coming up. Tip-off estimated to be around 7:30. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the home of Lakota West Athletics, Lakota West Student Broadcasting. We'll see you on the other side of the half.
Lakota West basketball.
Back on the hardwood here at Lakota West High School. Game 1 of this doubleheader has reached half number 2. A fresh 8 minutes on the scoreboard here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting, taking you along the way through tonight's doubleheader. I'm Nick Johnson alongside our analyst Noah Bramble. Andrew Odell will be joining us later on for the men's varsity game, estimated to tip off around 7:30. But here in this one, it's 30-23. The Firebirds looking to regain some momentum that they had on the offensive side of the basketball to start this game. But the Princeton Vikings going on a run seemingly the entire second quarter. Noah, how do you think these Firebirds are going to adjust coming out of halftime? But then also, Lily Johnson was a player to watch heading into the locker rooms. A little bit of discomfort after going down on a layup. How big of an impact do you think she's going to have from either being on the sideline for the remainder of the half or coming in and trying to play through anything?
I mean, it's gonna be a struggle if Lily Johnson can't get back in this game. You have to have somebody step up here, because that's a huge miss. You're gonna miss that player on the court, especially down low on offense and defense. So you're gonna somebody has to step up down low, get physical, because you won't have the height that she did. Now, if you're Lakota West here, you have to, I'm not sure if you change the game plan, but you have to stay focused, because that's what happened. They were playing so good. They were playing amazing through the first quarter, and then they just got sloppy. They just let the ball flow through their hands and let the other team, Princeton, score up a bunch of points. Now it's 30-23. You got to refocus and get back to on par with Princeton.
Fox tie it up with Fortson right there. 3 fouls on Fortson so far tonight. Firebirds take back over. They still trail by 7. Either team yet to score here in half number 2. Fox makes the pass to Johnson in the ball game on the inside. No good off the rim on the first attempt. Firebirds looking for some second chance points. Rolls out of bounds. Vikings take over.
Fishman's getting at it with the ref.
Yeah, I mean, an animated Coach Fishman is not an unfamiliar sight, but I think especially in a game like this against a team like this, you want to have certain calls. You want to have your players execute everything to perfection. He has every reason to get animated. And this one, as Johnson goes up, will draw the foul. No and one, but she will head to the line. And you see her stats there, what she's been able to do for the team so far this season. Definitely important to have her back out onto the floor. Hopefully she was able to nurse that hand injury at halftime and get back to full strength here before we head into the final 16. Johnson from the line, shot number 2 is up and good. Went 0 for 2 from the line just before the end of the half. She at least gets one of them there. Block foul called for on the Firebirds. Caitlin Barber will collect that foul, her second of the ball game. Firebirds now trail 6 after the free throw from Lily Johnson. Great inbound there for the Vikings. Trying to power under the rim. No good for Harris, but she will be able to kick it out. Vikings with some great ball movement here, trying to get a look going. Trying to put the moves on. It's Paris Reed, no good going up for that one. And Caroline Bailiff will take the tipped ball as it falls back into play. Here's Fox going up on the inside, no good. Offensive board for Johnson. Now here's Nielsen with the second chance look, and it is no good. They can't get this rim to favor these Firebirds here tonight.
The ball will not fall through the net for these Firebirds. And there's a couple things not going their way, and as you can see on some of these faces of the Firebirds, the calls aren't going their way, the falls are not going their way. And that call will go their way, though.
That's a big charge pickup right there. You said it.
That's a charge all day. You put your elbow into her chest and push her over, that's a charge all day. She didn't even have to do anything. She was just hands straight up, let it fall back.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, we were talking about the Firebirds just not being able to get anything to fall. We've seen what poor shot selection can do to this team, especially early on in the year. I mean, you look at certain players like Katie Fox, who just really had a down period to start the year. But I'll tell you what, the shot selection has gotten astronomically better as the Firebirds have gone along this run. As Lily Johnson tries the three there, no good. It's not the shot selection tonight. I mean, I don't know what it is. These Firebirds just seemingly getting unlucky at times. They just can't get anything to go their way in a game where you need to have a little bit of luck, as Nielsen will pick up a big 2 on the inside, her 7th points of the night's ball game.
Well, here we go. Keep playing aggressive if you're these Firebirds, just like you have been, and you'll get those opportunities. And just like that, Princeton's starting to turn into Lakota West in the second quarter. So everything's just starting to come apart for them, and everything's starting to fall West's way.
Basketball is a game of runs. It's how you manage them. Firebirds, for the most part, able to hang tough with the Vikings in that first half. And the Princeton Vikings, you hear it over the PA system here in the arena, take their second called timeout of the ball game. They know what the Firebirds are up to. They can feel the momentum building, and they put a stop to it. We'll be right back on the other side of the D. Davis timeout here from Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Back after the Vikings timeout, West looking like they're going to get a run going here. They only trail by 4 to one of the top teams in Ohio right now, 8-0 in GMC play, 13-1 as a whole are these Princeton Vikings. Not an easy task to knock them off. It's easier with West playing them on their home floor. Such a big night all around, not just with the doubleheader, but the coaches versus cancer, all the energy in this building. Firebirds want this ball game, and they got to start playing like it if they want to close this one out against such a talented team as Sydney Williams. It's like I was talking just to her as you hear the 3 call there. Everyone can feel the energy in the arena now as Sydney Williams takes some points right back. Firebirds now with a big defensive rebound. Williams on the break. Johnson getting tripped up. Somebody up here wanted it.
Golly.
Can't put my finger on who.
I think it was our producer Nico Stolwer.
It couldn't be you, Bramble. Couldn't be.
No, I would
you.
never do such a thing.
30-29 will remain the score after the failed break attempt. Ball swatted by Nielsen. Nielsen down the floor with the dish to Johnson. She's no good. No good on the putback. Tip ball all around off the baseline, and the Firebirds keep it.
Oh, just a bunch of unfortunate events right there, and I just cannot watch it up here.
All right, I feel like we're getting some passion through the microphone up here from our color spot. What a game this one is coming down to, 30-29 here with just under 4 remaining in the third period of play. Here's Bailiff for the Firebirds, goes up, quick jumper on the inside. Firebirds can't regain the lead. Remains 30-29. Vikings take it back over. It's Harris down the floor. Harris tries to make a drive, goes up. She's no good. Nielsen at the basketball. She loses the defensive board to the Vikings. Tipped ball for Johnson. Vikings get it right back. Ball's moving all over the place in this period as that one will bank off the front of the iron. Another three-point look wide open, and the Vikings take advantage of that one, 33-29. Back to a 4-point ball game. First points of the day for Naomi Wyant. And what a big 3 points they are. As Fox looks for 3. That one tipped. No good. Loose ball. Johnson comes up with it. To the inside, it's Nielsen. Now Bailiff winding up a 3. Oh my goodness, the ball game we got in Westchester. Bailiff not gonna let them have that lead for a minute. And the Vikings say back at ya.
What a game.
Nobody can have a safe lead in this one.
Just trading blows back and forth.
No ways! Oh my goodness! How about it, number 5? Vikings to the inside, no good, whistle blown. Oh my goodness, and you can see the animation on Coach Fishman's face. Oh my goodness, what a series we just witnessed in Westchester. And a couple of big free throws coming up for the Princeton Vikings. What a way to kick off the doubleheader.
Jesus. I mean, I don't like to blame the refs for anything, but he called that foul 3 seconds after the shot. I don't see how you can call that from half court. But we'll stick with it. Lakota West will just keep going at it. I mean, these teams are just going back and forth, trading blows. It's so loud in this arena here tonight. And I'm sorry that you guys are watching it on video and not here in person, because it is absolutely amazing.
Harris 0 for 1 from the line to start this stand. Takes her second shot here, looks to make it a 2-point game. Up and good, 37-35 our score. The inbound will find Katie Fox for the Firebirds. Ball over to Barber on that near side wing. She moves it up towards the top of the floor. Able to find Katie Fox yet again. Look for Nielsen from beyond the arc. Tries to find her way in. Goes up. And oh, nearly could have had the tie +1. She will not have it. She will have a chance to tie the ball game, 37 apiece. How about Jada Nielsen there playing physical on the inside?
This game got interesting fast. It was just, before it was just a game of mistakes and it was getting kind of boring, but now both these teams are just going head to head, shot for shot, and you cannot separate these teams right now.
I mean, you named it there. I mean, how exciting is eye for an eye basketball on a night like tonight? Nielsen knocks down the game tire, 37 apiece. Viking ball.
7 for 7 from the line for Jaden Nielsen today.
Under 2 here to play in the third period. We've cooled down a little bit. And that ball coming right back. Offensive foul for Naha Muhammad. Firebirds are officially in the bonus with that last foul too. The Princeton Vikings, 5 fouls on the period with the new foul rule. That puts them in the bonus for the remainder of the period. Fouls to reset as we enter the fourth. Bailiff having some trouble with the basketball. Tight defensive pressure. She's able to find Katie Fox, get rid of it. Brand new ball game in Westchester. Firebirds looking to strike first and regain a lead. Ball gets lost. No jump ball called for. That's Vikings basketball all the way. Going up on the inside. No good. Another air ball. Tip ball out on the Vikings. They're going to say Kiara Harris, the freshman, had the last finger on it.
Well, you worked your way all the way here, fought through the battle. Time to take the lead. Get in front. Like I said in the first half, get ahead and stay ahead. That needs to be the game for Lakota West, and here's your chance to get ahead. Don't need a 3, just need some points.
Fox slow to move with the basketball. A little hint at where they're probably hoping momentum will go. Cool off a little bit from what we had a minute ago. Get ready for this big fourth quarter upcoming as we get another foul down there. That will send the Firebirds to the line on bonus shots with 1 minute, 4 seconds remaining in the third. It was Paris Reed called on the foul. It'll be her second of the day. Taking to the line, it is Lily Johnson. Of course, the big storyline with her, the potential hand injury she might have went down with earlier in the game on a botched layup. First shot is up and no good. She struggled from the line at certain points in tonight's ball game, and that has definitely hurt these Firebirds. Can't lose out on the fundamentals on a night like tonight.
Yeah, if Lakota West would make a little bit more free throws than they have been, they would be leading this game by 4 or more.
No good, goes 0 for 2 again. Ball out on the baseline. And I believe they're gonna call that one Firebird basketball.
Second chance here. Missed both those free throws, now it's time to get them back. Again, don't need a 3. I hate the 3-ball game where you're just throwing them up every single time you touch the ball. Just need some points, just like that. Just need some easy points.
Great fundamental basketball, just what we were talking about, what the Firebirds are in need of here tonight. Nielsen able to come down with the lead. She's got 11. Vikings tie it right back up. However, another new ball game here on the west side. Bailiff with the inbound. About 45 seconds remain in the third period. Here's Fox from the top of the floor. Fox dishes it to Bailiff from behind the line. No good on the 3-ball. Vikings come up with the defensive rebound. 30 seconds remain. They move fast down the floor. Quick J inside. No good. Tipped ball out of bounds. They're going to give that one to the girls in white. And you can hear just how upset these Vikings fans are about that call. Lots of energy going around this arena.
Wow. Yeah, I think we got away with one there. Definitely hit a Firebird arm to go out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you what, as close as this game is, 39-39, worth noting that the Vikings are coming off a 59-57 win, just barely scraping by the East Thunderhawks. These Lakota teams not easy to get by, and we're seeing what the Vikings are having to deal with as Bailiff throws that one away, recovered by Muhammad. Vikings with 5 seconds left, trying to get up a shot. 3 seconds on the inside, goes up, no, is blown dead. They're gonna say she stepped out of bounds with 1.5 seconds remaining. Ball going the Firebirds' way. Can't imagine we'll get any points up on the board here before we head to the fourth. Goes to Bailiff. Puts it up, no avail. Could you have asked for a better start to not just a doubleheader, but a game this big for these Firebirds? It is 39-all here on the floor in Westchester. We'll come back to you with a huge 8 minutes of action on Lakota West Student Broadcasting when we return. Back with the fourth quarter of action here on Coaches versus Cancer Night here at Lakota West High School. There's this QR code to donate. All proceeds from tonight's event going towards Coaches versus Cancer. If you were unable to make it to the game tonight, there's a QR code. We and the girls basketball team here at Lakota West encourage you to donate if possible. But what a game for this doubleheader here tonight. 39-all as the Vikings take over to start the final 8 minutes of play.
Now, this is something new for the Vikings. I haven't seen them at all this year play slow and settle down offense. Don't know how this is going to pan out.
Big rebound there, second chance points, no good. Another look, also no good, and they're going to say that last one out on the hands of Katie Fox. Princeton Vikings able to maintain possession. Every ball that goes out of bounds, every missed second chance point, every missed free throw, these little moments are going to start adding up. Are all going to make a difference in this one. Drive inside for the Vikings, up and no good. Paris Reed tried to lay it in. Firebirds have the possession arrow, not going to need it there. Tie up avoided. So here's Fox trying to make a quick break to the inside. She kicks it back out, finds Williams on the near side wing. Reese Johnson with it now up at the top of the floor, about a full minute into the period.
There we go. This is your chance to take the lead for Lakota West. Draw a foul or get some points here.
Here's Nielsen. Nielsen's up and it spins cycles out. Firebirds not going to crack 40 just yet. Harris with the dish there to the far side wing, able to find Reed. Taken by Nielsen. That's a big one for the Firebirds.
Not the pass the Vikings were looking for, and just as I say that, not the pass the Firebirds were looking for.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, miscommunication, that's something you just cannot have at this stage in the game. Feels like it's going to be 39-39 forever, the way both of these teams have approached this fourth quarter.
Well, this is when the hands start shaking and everything's just running through your head, and you're just thinking, man, I got to get these points. I got to get this score. And you just start making rash decisions that you shouldn't be. And the winner of this game is going to be the one that calmed down under pressure.
And we can see clearly both teams trying to take it a little bit slower here in these final 8 minutes. Or now I guess we've hit the 6-minute mark in this quarter as Katie Fox takes the basketball, loses it for a moment. Barber able to scoop it. Big recovery there for the Firebirds. Barber going to dish it to Williams. Could it go? No, it will not. Princeton taking right back over. Still scoreless in the fourth. Pull up two from the free throw line. Vikings not able to come up with it. It's a foul drawn there on the inside. Basket will not fall there for Muhammad. Muhammad, no listed stats heading into today's ball game. The freshman at the forward position here for these Vikings. She'll take to the line. No points on the day, 2 fouls. Won't collect her first there.
2 fresh legs coming in for Lakota West.
And for the Firebirds, 11, Caroline Bailiff, 23, Lily Johnson.
And here Johnson's name back out onto the floor, bringing in one of the bigger bodies on this West team. Tallest player the Firebirds have got, trying to recover that rebound. Timeout taken by Fishman. Sorry, no timeout taken. I guess he just wanted a substitution before the Firebirds take it over there. Will be Firebird basketball after an 0 for 2 stand from the line for Muhammad. Fox able to find Johnson here. Johnson pulling up inside. The bank is open. And the Firebirds bust open the scoreboard on the fourth quarter, 41-39. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the period.
Both teams have been just kind of stuck there for a little bit, and finally the Firebirds persevere right there, get some points on the board.
Big 3 jacked up for the Vikings. Spin cycle out. They wanted that one.
Woo.
They wanted that one bad. You can hear the collective gasp. Fox spinning through the inside, kicks it out. Here's Johnson for 3. It's good! Lily Johnson!
23, Lily Johnson!
The clutch gene is on in Westchester. 5-point game, 44-39. Vikings in need of some points. They go up and steal 2 right back. Back to a 3-point game, 44-41. Fox down the floor, about 4 minutes, 20 seconds remain in the ball game. Firebirds once again slowing it back down. They lose the basketball there on the way to Barber. Loose ball, not gonna go out of bounds. Naomi Wyatt taking over for the Vikings, able to save them there. Much needed takeover, as that one's gonna go out on Katie Fox. Wyatt starting to lose control there, able to kick it off the leg.
Princeton substitution, number 21, Callie Borston.
You can see the tension building on that west sideline. They know they have the lead, but they also know that they are not safe against this Princeton Vikings team and what they've been able to do all year long. This is an impressive roster that these Vikings have. This is not going to be an easy one to close out by any means.
No, and you can see that Lakota East was in the same situation and did not come out on top. Now Lakota West needs to try to do what Lakota East couldn't and bring home Princeton's first loss.
And one will not fall, but the Vikings will take to the line for 2. Best they can do is make it a 1-point game.
Foul number 3, Jada Nielsen.
Any misses here, you got to have a big rebound come up for the Firebirds with 3:47 remaining. The freshman Harris up and good on shot number 1.
Back in for the Firebirds, number 11, Caroline Bailiff.
Harris with a big second shot up and coming to make it a 1-point ball game. It's good. 1-point game, 44-43. West takes over. Got to come away with points.
Hey, get ahead and stay ahead. It's been my motto all day. I'm sticking with it.
Bailiff
No way.
for 3. It goes! How about it? The sophomore Caroline Bailiff. 2-possession basketball game in Westchester.
Wow. This is crazy. I mean, Lakota West is, as I said earlier, Lakota East and Lakota West, and Princeton are just trading blows back and forth. Nobody can really get away from each other. It's just been back and forth as much as they can. That might be they're not going to call a charge. Sorry.
I mean, who doesn't like a good shootout track meet basketball game, especially against these two teams? I mean, you can't go wrong in the GMC right now, as hot as a lot of these teams are. Obviously, you have Princeton, who has yet to fall to a GMC team. You got the Mason Comets up there at the top of the conference with them. You got the Firebirds right now, haven't lost a GMC game since they lost to the Mason Comets on December 9th. Haven't lost a game in general since December 28th against Miami Senior. And that's a top public school in Florida. I don't think anyone's going to complain about taking a loss there.
No, sir. Now you have to, when you look up at that board, you do have to be cautious that Sydney Williams and Kaylin Barber are both have 3 fouls. So you got to make sure you don't foul out here, especially if you're one of the big players.
Big 3 airballed, no good. Firebirds take back over. Ball makes contact with the baseline there off the miss. I don't know about you, Bramble. I don't know if I can handle a second game the way we're going right now.
Couldn't agree more. This is very stressful. If this second game is anything like this game, it's going to be a long night, and I'm not complaining.
Hey, take basketball any day of the week.
If it's like this,
it's
yes.
a Midwest winner for you. Basketball all the time. Go straight from football to basketball. Not a dull moment throughout the school year. These Firebirds keep winning through it. Fox on the inside, nearly got it to fall. Would have been a big 2. Poke on the basketball. That's Firebird ball! And you can see, oh my gosh, Fox and Fishman sharing a moment there. You can see the excitement between them. That is what this basketball team needs right now. They need that energy. They need that excitement to help them through this game. This game is going to mean a lot to them down the stretch this season.
Oh, man, especially if you can pull away with the win here. That's going to be huge.
Here goes Johnson with a 3! Keeping it raining, 7-point game. Firebirds in full control. And we'll cool off for a minute as a foul gets called there, but how about it, Bramble? Lily Johnson, who we talked about all half long, dealing with that potential injury. That goes a mile in closing this game out.
Unconscious now. Sydney Williams is now have 4 fouls, so you do have to be careful with that, especially with a big player like Sydney Williams. Even if she's not scoring for those Firebirds, the presence of her on the court is something that you cannot replace.
Williams will come off the floor for the Firebirds. Barber now leads the 5 out on the floor and fouls with 3. Lost basketball there. Firebirds take control. And the closer we hit to triple zeros, the closer these Princeton Vikings are getting to their first GMC loss on the 2023-2024 season. You can see the men's team starting to loom in these tunnels as we get down to the waning moments of tonight's ball game. We've hit the 2-minute mark remaining in the ball game. Vikings still got 7 to go to tie.
Now, nobody get comfortable here at home, folks. Nobody has ever played Princeton Princeton's never been behind in the 4th quarter. When they played East, they were ahead the whole time. Now, East was trading blows with them, though. They were never behind by this much. And Princeton's not gonna relax here. So you just got to keep adding, just like Katie Fox did on the floor. 52-43, you gotta keep at it.
Gets it to fall there, nearly a double-digit deficit for the Vikings. You see the foul totals. Firebirds 1 away from putting the Vikings in the bonus. Princeton only with 2 fouls so far on the period. Tight defense there from Johnson. Sneed kicks it back out on her way inside. Big three, no good, off the front of the iron. Fox takes back over under a minute and a half. Here's Nielsen to the inside, kicks it to Williams. As you mentioned, 4 fouls on her tally. She has to watch it.
They got a foul soon. Surely got a foul.
And you see the foul there. This has got to be last resort for the Princeton Vikings. Far from over when you face a team with this much talent, but it's looking more and more like they're going to pick up that first conference loss.
Do not say anything. Nobody say, it's over. And no, I'm not saying this just for view time. Do not turn off that TV screen. This is long from over.
Intentional foul there. Vikings will move to 4 after their second on this possession. No doubt they'll foul on the next inbound, send it to 5 fouls. And the Firebirds should be sent to the line for 2. Another one of the foul rule changes for the NFHS heading into the season. No more 1-and-1 bonuses. It is all 2 shots. That rule going to come into play here in the waning moments of this one. A big 2 shots. You got to hit if you're the Firebirds. Can't let the Vikings have any slimmer of hope in this one.
No, sir.
Chance to close out the game here. Caroline Bailiff will take to the line. She'll take 2 for the Firebirds. Viking stands getting loud. Bailiff misses her first. The energy that this team has on the road is the last thread that they're hanging on by with 1:09.
Now, the number one thing you want to do as Lakota West is do not foul. Don't give them any free chances here. I know they're not in the bonus yet, but just don't give them any free chances to do anything cute.
Sneed with the dish out onto the far side wing.
Oh, Lord.
Long range 3, no good. Tie up here. Firebirds have the possession arrow and they'll use it. Now under a minute, 53 seconds remain. As we just keep dwindling and dwindling towards that buzzer.
I mean, something that you can see here that unexperienced that Princeton has, and there's not a lot of things in this game that Princeton isn't unexperienced in, but this is definitely one of them. Not knowing what to do in these situations. You saw earlier, you get close to 1 minute and they weren't fouling. When you're down by 9, you have to start fouling. And here, they're taking desperation shots from the wing of the Firebird out here with 1 minute to go. That is a desperation shot, and there's no reason to be doing that, especially when you airball it afterwards.
Well, I'll tell you what, Noah. I'll let you finish that thought in just a moment. You were on the call with me last year, this very floor, where these Princeton Vikings, I don't think decimated is an accurate enough word. I don't have the exact final score, but I want to say it was in the range of 70-30 or somewhere around there. I mean, that was not a fun game to be at, and it definitely hurt these girls, and you could feel it having to go through a loss like that. But I mean, how about this? Just a year later, how much this team has developed. And of course, the Vikings dealing with a big loss in Mari Girton before the game. But I mean, what a turnaround here on the hardwood here at West.
Well, it looked totally different. Like in the first quarter of that game, I think it was somewhere around 2020, and we started to think, wow, maybe Lakota West can pull this off, stick with them for a while, and then all of a sudden, floodgates opened and the Vikings just couldn't stop scoring. It was like a disease. And now you look and it flips around. Lakota West is stick with them through every minute of every quarter. And they take the lead early in the fourth, and they're going to stay ahead. And they might just take down Goliath here and give Princeton their first loss.
Fortson from the line, making it a 9-point game. Firebirds moving the ball, avoiding the foul. They'll finally have contact made, 30.6. What is showing on the scoreboard here at Lakota West High School, 9-point game. Sydney Williams will take to the line. She'll have 2. As we keep getting closer and closer. And you can hear that boombox in the tunnel coming from that west side. Don't go anywhere here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Game 2 of the doubleheader coming up. It's the men's varsity team getting set to take on these same Princeton Vikings. And that should be just as good of a ball game here in just a few moments. We do have a timeout on the floor. Princeton wanting a little stoppage here for the final 30 and a half when we return from Lakota West High School. After the Viking timeout from the line for the Firebirds, it's Sydney Williams. 30 and a half seconds remain. Firebirds up by 9 against the Princeton Vikings, who currently sit 13-1 on the season, undefeated 8-0 in GMC play. Clock will start to run off the inbound. Firebirds lead this one by 11, 55-44. It looks just about over. All that's left to do is let that clock hit all zeros. Princeton taking some points there late. Under 15 to go. Quick foul on Katie Fox. Vikings looking to stall as long as they can. Keep that loss column clean for just a few more seconds in GMC play.
And the Princeton Vikings will carry their first L down I-75 South, back down to Princeton. Lakota West will keep their heads high walking out of here. Well, maybe not walking out of here. They'll stay for this amazing matchup for the Princeton Vikings and Lakota West Firebirds boys varsity game tonight, right after who I assure you will be another amazing game.
We'll be on the same broadcast here. No need to switch anything over. About 20 minutes in between games for warm-ups. We'll be right back at you on this same stream. I'll be on the call alongside Andrew Odell. Noah, thanks for joining us for this great first game of action. Vikings bury an easy 2 there, but the buzzer will sound, and down go the Princeton Vikings. Their first loss in GMC competition this year. They were entered tonight looking for their first sole title of the GMC since the 2013-14 season, and now you pick up your first loss in the conference. Their battle with Mason obviously still far from over at the top of this conference, but this one is going to go a long way. And you better believe that these Firebirds can take incredible amount of pride in what they were just able to accomplish, regardless of the situation for the Princeton Vikings. How about that win?
Don't forget that this is the last game in the regular season for both teams. So there will be a rematch. And let me tell you, both teams are going to be coming out on all cylinders because that could be the deciding GMC championship game.
Well, we got another game to prepare for. Thanks for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. About 20 minutes away from tip between the varsity competition here between the West men's team and the Princeton men's team. I'll see you on the other side of the break here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. And we are back on Lakota West Student Broadcasting, Game 2 of tonight's doubleheader between the Lakota West Firebirds and the Princeton Vikings. Moments ago, the Lakota West Firebirds girls varsity basketball team able to knock off the Princeton Vikings, handing them their first GMC loss of the season. They now move to 13-2 on the Princeton side. The Firebirds, however, keep their hot streak rolling. No losses in sight so far on that big run, but now we turn our attention to the men's competition here tonight. Once again, taking you along the way, I'm Nick Johnson alongside our new analyst stepping in here for the night, taking over for the men's game, Andrew Odell. And Andrew, you were on a camera for the first game, but I guarantee you were feeling that energy over there too.
Oh yeah, just exciting energy on both ends of the floor. Both teams just knocking down threes, and it was just a back and forth battle to the finish.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I mean, it's definitely going to have an impact on this game. I mean, you can feel the crowd still buzzing from all of that. What do you think that's going to do to the players running out of the tunnel?
I think it's going to get them, hyped up, ready to go. These guys, they're going to have to shoot a lot of threes. That's what West does best. And for Princeton, to stop Princeton inside, they're going to have to lock up on Brendan Braddix, the center, who is 6'4", and he averages 13 points a game. And he's really Princeton's best player in this lineup, as they're without their leading scorer, Ragni Santiago Lugo. And they're going to need to get the ball into the paint if they're going to want to beat these Firebirds. But for Lakota West defensively, they want to make Princeton shoot threes, as the Vikings are third worst in the GMC in three-point percentage.
And you mentioned Santiago Lugo there. Only 5 games played on this season. He did put up 34 against the Middletown Middies. The rest of his games are kind of up in the air, back and forth. But that 34-point game, I mean, you got to be a special kind of player to come up with a game like that. So it is definitely a loss to watch for these Princeton Vikings here tonight, and see what they're able to do on the offensive side of this floor against the Firebird team that, I mean, under the Coach Moss era, they've still maintained that fast pace of play. They're still able to play the kind of basketball that they want to play. They've had a couple of odd losses here and there. For the most part, on the back end of the season, everything's been going well with the exception of the Hamilton game. Obviously, unfortunate 41-30 loss there. They shot just over 28% from the field. So shot selection is going to be everything in this one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And when the Firebirds take good shots, they are one of the best offenses in the GMC. And actually, they have the #1 offense in the GMC right now in points per game. And that's going to be a big factor in tonight's matchup. They're just going to have to keep shooting good shots and getting open looks with guys like Isaiah Med-Moss and Bryce Curry.
Yeah, they mentioned Mead Moss there, leading scorer for the Firebirds, just under 10 points per game, put up 9 points in that loss against St. X that the Firebirds are coming off of. That one hurts if you're a Firebird fan. It was a close one over there in St. X. Obviously, they were starting to get a little bit of momentum going, and then you hit Hamilton, then you hit St. X. Tonight is going to be a big opportunity for them to bounce back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And they've got some big wins so far this season, on the road in Mason, winning by 30. And then at home against Lakota East, the big game from Josh Tyson, hitting 5 for 5 from the three-point line. And the Firebirds coming up with a 10-point victory. That game was just outrageous. The amount of fans in here, and it was just sold out, and the energy was great.
Yeah, you mentioned Josh Tyson, one of those impact freshmen that have really stepped up this year. What are we looking for tonight as far as these freshmen go? Bryce Curry and Josh Tyson especially.
Well, Bryce Curry, he's third in the GMC in steals per game, and he's going to be a really big factor on the defensive side of the ball for the Firebirds. And then for Josh Tyson, he shoots a lot of threes, and he makes a lot of threes. So look out for that for the Firebirds.
Let's take you down for our starting 5 of tonight's ball game. First, for the visiting Princeton Vikings, leading things off, it'll be number 10, the 6'1 guard, Sebastian Jordan Ramos. Wearing the number 11, 6'4 guard, in his senior year, Brendan Braddix. Wearing the number 15, standing 6'6 at the forward position, senior Daniel Jones. In his freshman year, wearing the number 21, the 6'2 guard, Amir Phillips. And at center, standing 6 foot 7 inches tall in his junior year, wearing the number 22, Morris Hodge. Not an easy 5 to go up against for these Princeton Vikings, but they have struggled a little bit in getting going this year, still below 500. They want this game as much as these Firebirds do.
Yeah, that's true, and I really think this game is going to be very high scoring. This is the battle of the number 1 offense and the number 2 offense in the GMC. I think both teams are going to get some high, fast-paced offenses running. They're going to shoot a lot of threes, and it's going to be a fun matchup tonight.
Well, a shootout would definitely be on brand with what we've been seeing with tonight's basketball competition. But now let's take it down for the Lakota West starting 5 in his freshman year, wearing the number 0, leading things off for the Firebirds. The 6'3" forward guard combo, Bryce Curry. Wearing the number 1, standing 6 foot tall, the senior guard, Bryson Curry. And I would like to correct some comments made earlier in the season. They are not brothers, they are cousins, the Currys, Bryce and Bryson, the cousins on the floor for the Firebirds. Wearing the number 2 alongside them in his senior year, standing 5'10", Isaiah Tyson. Wearing the number 10, standing 6 foot tall, the junior guard, Isaiah Mead-Moss. And rounding things out, another impact freshman wearing the number 12, standing 6'2" at the forward position, Josh Tyson. An interesting note about this starting 5, no LJ Green to get the night started. He has stepped up a lot this year, especially with the loss of Luka Gilbert, who has not played a minute for these Firebirds this year, dealing with undisclosed injury concerns. We do not want to speculate, we do not have confirmation, but from what we have heard, it is undisclosed injury. So LJ Green going to be one to watch for tonight, even though we might not see him in these starting 5.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's fueled this Firebird team, night in and night out. He's been a guy that just brings the energy, and he, being the big man and being, only 6'5", it's kind of tough in the GMC with higher bigs, but he's going to have to get going in this game.
Well, we're going to take a quick step aside for player introductions. 8 minutes going on the scoreboard. Minutes away from round 2 between the Firebirds and the Vikings, just off Union Center here in Westchester. Don't go anywhere here on the home of Lakota West Firebirds Athletics, Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Time for tip-off here on the hardwood at Lakota West, round 2 between these Firebirds and Vikings, and the tip will fall in favor of the Firebirds. Mead-Moss coming up with it before dishing it off to Josh Tyson, the freshman.
Look for Lakota West to establish the perimeter game here in the early going.
It'll be Bryson Curry moving up towards the top of the floor, finds Isaiah Tyson.
Princeton playing very physical up front right now.
Tyson goes up, lays it in, and it is good. Firebirds christen the scoreboard in round 2. And they take control of that basketball right back. Bryce Curry coming up with the basketball. Vikings able to take it right back. Amir Phillips, the freshman, coming up with the turnover for the Vikes.
And already you see both offenses like to play fast-paced, and that's why they score a lot of points. Both teams just running up and down the court to start this first minute.
I mean, this game is going to look more like a collision, it feels like, the way these two teams are just running at each other the whole time. I mean, the speed that they utilize as part of their game, it works out a lot of the time, but I mean, when you get two teams that play so similarly, it's going to make for an intriguing matchup.
It really is, and I feel like in this game, you could see this game approach, you know, a lot of points. As what a block.
I knew we had the dunking ability there from Bryce Curry, but my goodness, he went up and slapped that one away.
Yeah, and don't underestimate Bryce Curry's defensive presence. You know, 3rd in the GMC in steals. This guy can really make his presence known on the defensive end.
Vikings basketball here. Jordan Ramos dishing it off to that far side wing. Now the move inside. Here's Ramos again. No good from 3. Vikings are able to come up with some second chance opportunity though, but they will turn it back over on the hard foul. Josh Tyson collapsing to the floor there. The Princeton Vikings pick up their first foul of the contest. Each team is taking it 1 apiece here to start.
A lot of energy early from Princeton. Number 21, Amir Phillips, the freshman early. He's just going up and down the court and looking for steals, and he's playing at a high level early.
It's Isaiah Tyson with a move trying to get to the inside. Dishes to Moss at the corner, goes up. No good, just bounces off. Vikings come up with the defensive board. Braddock's down the floor. Able to find Jordan Ramos yet again. That's a name we're going to be hearing all night long, is Jordan Ramos, the way he plays down there.
Yeah, and Brendan Braddock's as well. He's 3rd in the GMC and blocks is Bryce Curry with a second block early on.
Someone ate their Wheaties as Isaiah Mead Moss gets rejected. More of a 4-on-4 as both of those guys appear shaken up, and we get another from Isaiah Tyson, but a foul called for, waving it off.
Oh man, this is just both teams. Oh, block party right now.
You couldn't ask for a better night of basketball. I mean, both of these games, I mean, we're only a few minutes into this one, but I can already tell this is going to be something just as special.
And right now, the physicality of both teams is just being on full display right now. Both teams are running right down the floor, getting blocks, going for dunks.
It's Daniel Jones at the line, averages about 9 points per game for the Vikings offense. Knocks down his first shot, looks to tie it here early, 2-2. Up and no good. Vikings do come up with the board. No good on the second chance points. They get third chance points. Up and it's blocked by Bryce Curry. And it's blocked by Bryce Curry again.
What is that, 4 blocks in the early going? What a start.
Quick pass out to Bryson Curry. Goes up, dishes to Moss in the corner. I mean, you talk about high-paced, explosive offensive teams.
We really haven't seen the offense. We see more of the defense here in the early going. The blocks on just both ends. Neither team letting up.
Isaiah Tyson with the movement, trying to dig inside. Not going to get there. Sets a screen for his brother. Tyson back out. Here's Bryce Curry. Goes for 3 and knocks it down.
Rebound! Number 0, Bryce Curry!
There's the passing ability from Isaiah Tyson. He averages 2.5 assists per game, and that's the most on this Firebirds team. He's the guy that dishes out all the passes to get the open looks.
And you can already feel the impact that this freshman Curry has made on this team as Ramos not going to let that one go by. Sebastian Jordan Ramos picking up his first 3 ball of the contest.
Here's a trap on Curry.
They'll let that go into the backcourt. West able to take it back. They're in 4.5 minutes. Pump fake in the corner, going up on the inside. It's Josh Tyson, able to recover his own rebound. Here's Bryson Curry, deep 3, no good, nearly had it. But Jordan Ramos gonna come up with the basketball, and some tough defense being played there.
This is a physical matchup early here.
They're going to call that. They're going to call that Josh Tyson on the foul. That's already his second of the contest.
Yeah, as I was saying, both teams just up and down the floor. The physicality is really showing. Neither team is letting up any easy buckets.
Jordan Ramos here to take it down for the Vikings. They trail by 1 in the early going, 5-4. To the inside, it's Myrie who's able to dish it off to Lugo. And the Vikings able to get it. More second chance opportunities. They take their first lead, 6-5. Down the floor, it's Isaiah Tyson with speed. He's not going to be able to come up with that one as the whistle gets blown on his way inside.
An interesting moment here. Lugo checks into the game, the leading scorer for the Vikings, who had 34 on the road at Middletown. And he's a guy that can really just score a lot of points in a quick amount of time. And coming off the bench for the Vikings, pretty rare.
And here's LJ Green checking in off the bench here for the Firebirds. You see his contributions there, 7.7 points per game. But that doesn't account for his defensive presence, especially with Luka Gilbert missing for this team. But he goes up and takes the lead right on back for the Firebirds, 7-6.
And there's the offensive presence of LJ Green. He's tall and he's athletic, and he can just get to the rim.
Quick three for the Vikings, no good. Green coming up with the rebound. Firebirds taking over, under 3.5 minutes to play in the first. Here's Bryson Curry, makes a drive inside, bounces to Preston Robinson. Robinson dishes it out, here's Bryce. Gets another one to fall!
Number 0, Bryce Curry!
Bryce Curry is having a heck of a start here tonight. About 4 blocks and 6 points off threes.
Quick to the inside, and it's Santiago Lugo. Pulls it back to a 2-point game.
And now you're starting to see the offenses of both teams get comfortable shooting the ball as the Firebirds knocking down 2 threes early, but both teams able to get in the paint as well.
Robinson getting slapped at there on the inbound. Reach-in foul called. Both of these teams sitting at 3 fouls on the period. That's 2 away from the new bonus.
And an interesting statistic is both of these teams are not great at rebounding, as Princeton is dead last in the GMC and West is number 8 in the GMC. So the winner of the rebound battle is going to be probably the winner of the game at the end of the day.
Bryce Curry with a deep pass there, finds Isaiah Tyson. Tyson a move to the inside, bounces out, finds Robinson. Nearly gets another 3-ball to fall.
Firebirds getting good looks.
You can tell early that 3-ball is going to be a big part of their game as the Vikings tie it up 10 apiece. 2:25 remain on the first quarter game clock.
And you see here early, Princeton is pressing, trying to make West get down the floor tougher, but they're getting good fast break looks.
Robinson with some great presence inside, knocking down the easy 2. Firebirds back on top. And the Vikings lose it there, but they're going to say that tipped off a Firebird. The Vikings able to keep the basketball.
Yeah, and here in this moment right here, West is going to try to, stop the Vikings from getting the ball inside. Vikings haven't really shot many threes in the early going, but they're going to get some, and it's going to be because West is guarding that paint.
See a couple of substitutions here. Tyson Davis, one of the Firebirds, coming off the bench.
And Hakeem Smith also in. He's a great shooter from the 3.
Vikings getting things back and going. They trail by 2. Another 3 look, and it's no good for Santiago Lugo. A name we've heard a couple times later on in this first quarter as Tyson Davis tries to go up and get one. Not able to drop it. Out of bounds, Firebirds take that one right back over. Arvani Gill losing control of the basketball.
An ill-advised pass right there from David Steele as the Vikings turn it over, but here West back on offense. They're getting good looks from 3. We're going to see if they can keep doing that or if Princeton is going to push them to drive in the paint.
It's Robinson down the floor for the Firebirds. Can see the speed coming out. Smith off to Tyson, now back to Mead Moss, top of the floor.
And one thing about West is they really distribute very well. Their leading scorer only averages 9.9 points per game. So a lot of guys get scoring opportunities because they pass the ball around really well.
And it's Robinson that's going to be sent to the line, fouled on his way up on the inside.
15, Daniel Jones. Shooting 2 for the Firebirds with 15.
Preston Robinson early establishing himself as a presence. He only averages 1.8 points per game, but early on in the going, he's making good plays here for the Firebirds.
Preston Robinson, the breakout star from JV last year, started to cool off towards the end of the season, but solidified his spot on varsity year-long this season as his first shot is up and no good. And you said it there. I mean, while his stat line may not show it as much, he's still a big contributor to this team as far as their presence on the floor goes.
Yeah, he really is. And look for West here to try to get some looks for number 4, Hakeem Smith. He's a great shooter. And also try to get looks inside for LJ Green.
Robinson up and good on his second attempt. 3-point ball game, 13-10. As we had a quick whistle during some substitutions.
If Princeton keeps pressing, West is going to, have to break that press but with all their guards that they have, it's not going to be too difficult of a challenge for the Firebirds.
Princeton ready to inbound this basketball. Brendan Braddocks off the baseline. Able to find Jordan Ramos. Back and forth between the two Vikings down the floor.
And now both teams running a press. This is just high intensity basketball right here.
Vikings still trying to get a solid look to break to the inside. Travel violation called for.
For the Vikings, 15, Daniel
And it's still early in the game, but those are going to start to add up and hurt these Vikings.
They really are, and the turnover battle, the team who wins it is going to be the team that wins this game just based off the fact that possessions are so valuable with how well both of these teams score. And getting fast break buckets on this press is going to be, the key to the game for the Firebirds. Now the Vikings hold off on the press.
Tyson Davis able to find Isaiah Tyson. Now LJ Green tries to put on a spin and knocks it down from the inside.
Well, they found the mismatch. They got LJ Green on the 5'11 guard, and that was just perfect interior offense from the Firebirds.
Vikings passing the ball around the outside, still trying to break into the interior. Lots of force there on that breakthrough, but Jordan Ramos unable to get anything to fall.
We haven't seen much of number 11, Brendan Braddocks, early for the Vikings.
Nearly another great tip there. Mead Moss inches away from that one. 15-13 after the three-pointer.
Well, the Vikings third worst in the GMC at shooting threes, but they get an open one there and it goes down. And, the Firebirds, they're just going to have to keep letting them shoot that. But if they keep making them, they're going to have to press up on that three.
5 seconds remain to the inside. It's Isaiah Tyson. Passes it out. Finds Mead Moss. No good. Airballs it. Buzzer sounds. Nobody able to get a good shot off there towards the end. We head to the second set of 8 minutes. 15-13. Quarter number 6 of this doubleheader on the way here from the home of the Firebirds, Lakota West High School, when we return. Princeton basketball as we get ready for the second set of 8 minutes. The Vikings trailing in this one 15-13. As we get a 5-second violation to start off the quarter, so maybe it won't be the Princeton Vikings starting with possession of the basketball.
And here for West offensively, I think they're going to get Tyson Davis open looks as he shoots 57% from the three-point line. If he gets open looks, he's going to make them.
Isaiah Tyson able to take this one into the backcourt. Officially underway here in quarter number 2. Curry tries to dish it to Green on the inside. Foul called for. Very physical ball game so far, and we talked about the speed and the way these two teams play, but it has been a defensive battle all the way, which isn't what we expected at all with some of the top offensive basketball teams that you're going to see here in the area.
Yeah, and a good move there from Davis, just not able to get the bounce. But for both of these teams, I think they've kind of taken off the fast break, and they've gotten more to getting their offense set up.
15-15, back to a brand new ball game. Isaiah Tyson, speed down the floor, kicks it to Green.
And as I say that, they go right back. Both teams get fast break buckets.
Vikings looking to retaliate again. It's Gill kicking it to the inside. No good on the attempt from Braddix. Here's Isaiah Tyson once again with speed. Curry goes up. No, doesn't have it. We've seen a couple of those this year. Not going to get that one.
Oh, man, that would have been nasty. But the speed of Isaiah Tyson to just get down the court and make that pass was just unbelievable.
Isaiah Tyson on the wing, kicks it to Bryce Curry. Curry able to find Davis in that corner. Neither of them liking the look. Here he goes again, starts to get tied up, gets rid of the basketball, but a travel violation called for. Princeton taking back over.
And early in that possession, West was going to try to get the ball into LJ Green, but they didn't have a good look. Princeton doing a better job of stopping that interior offense for the Firebirds.
And we apologize there. A Hamilton stat flashed up on the screen. 17-15 here between the Firebirds and the Princeton Vikings. 2-point ball game. Firebirds looking to hang on to the lead in half here. 6.5 minutes remain. Out of bounds. And they're going to say that that is Vikings basketball.
Defensively, West is continuing to try to stop that interior offense of the Vikings, but Princeton's getting some good looks at, good layups, and they're getting open looks offensively.
And we will get a whistle blown here. Both teams taking to the benches, and we will be right back in just a few minutes. A few seconds rather, here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Vikings set to inbound off the timeout. Princeton Vikings taking their first. They trail by 2, 6.5 remaining in the half. Bryson Curry comes up with a big steal. Isaiah Meade-Moss to the inside, and he will draw the and one.
What a finish. That was tough and physical, and that's really been this entire game, but you would have thought that would have gotten blocked with the way this first quarter went, but a strong finish there from Isaiah Meade-Moss.
He will attempt the and one.
Looks to make it a 5-point ball game.
Number 0, Santiago Lugo.
Meade-Moss, an incredible presence on this team. As we mentioned earlier, nearly 10 points per game, about 2.5 rebounds as well. He does it everything well, really, on each side of the basketball as he comes up with the and one there. 5-point game. Ball taken right back. Here's Meade-Moss. Fast break, one-on-one, goes up. not going to have it. Bryson Curry can't get the putback. Now it's the Vikings fast down the floor.
And continuing that fast break offense for both teams. Neither team letting up any, easy baskets, though.
Vikings with Braddocks up at the top of the floor.
And I really like how West has contained Brendan Braddocks. He has not really affected this game at all. And they've really prevented him from scoring.
Bryson Curry on the defense here for Jordan Ramos. Ball continues to get passed around here. This Vikings offense, Preston Robinson comes up with the rebound on the no-good 3-ball attempt. Still a 5-point game.
Bryce Curry was shooting the 3-ball really well in the early going. Let's see if they can get them a look here.
And a great tip here for the Princeton Vikings. Landon Myrie on the break. Same Landon Myrie that was going against the Firebirds in the regional semifinals in the football tournament this year. And he snags 2 against the Firebirds on their home floor. Firebirds take a timeout. Coach Moss calling his first. We'll be right back from the home of the Firebirds, Lakota West High School, in a few moments. Firebirds ready to go. 20-17 after their timeout. First called of the ball game. Each team sitting at 4 apiece as we approach the 5-minute mark in the second quarter to play. Firebirds here marching down the floor looking to grow this lead they've had to fight for all game long against a very similar Princeton Vikings team.
Well, I think both of these teams match up pretty similarly. And both of them are, they're tough defenses, good offenses, so it's going to make for a pretty even matchup across the board. And I expect, a lot more blocks and dunks in this game.
Isaiah Tyson to the inside. He's not going to be able to come up with that one. 1-point game as the Vikings take over, 2019.
West is playing some great defense right now. They're playing a man, and they're switching very well.
Steele losing the basketball. Pass down the floor. It's Robinson to Smith on the inside. Snags 2 right back on the scoreboard.
How about that defense from Preston Robinson, though? Just being a presence everywhere he goes.
Steele with a dish on the inside. It's not going to go for Landon Myrie.
Landon Myrie has been the biggest threat in this game early in the early going in the paint. He scored a lot of Princeton's buckets early. But for West offensively, they're going to have to get, continue to get open looks from 3, but try to get a little inside game going with LJ Green. That matchup against Landon Myrie is going to be fun to watch here in this game.
Yeah, and of course we know Myrie as a multi-sport athlete. He's got the athleticism. He's got the explosiveness as a wide receiver. But, I mean, he comes into this game averaging nearly 7.5 points per game, about 4 rebounds per game. I mean, he does it all for the Princeton Vikings athletically as Hakeem Smith drops his 4th in a row.
And, West is starting to get those paint buckets that they were looking for. And, Princeton's leaving it open right now.
Princeton to the inside, goes up, foul drawn. Myrie once again making his drive there. Gets stopped by the foul.
Dakota West foul number 2. Isaiah Tyson.
And now for West defensively, I mean, they're playing that man and it's working really well. They're just going to have to continue to try to get those steals. Princeton's not an easy team to stop defensively because, you know, they're so good at getting fast break buckets. West is going to have to learn to get back on defense and make sure Princeton doesn't get any, you know, easy wide open layups.
Myrie good on his first, gets set for the second here as it stands. A 4-point game, 24-20. Myrie looking to draw it back within one possession. Up and good.
We see here now, neither team's really pressing. Both teams are kind of just settling back and playing, you know, tough defense.
To the inside, it's LJ Green, and he's got it, 26-21.
And right now, that inside game is open for the Firebirds every single time. They just have to continue finding those open looks, and right now, it's going really well for them. Isaiah Tyson just, his ability to, you know, his vision as a point guard is really showing right now.
And Princeton with a little right back gotcha. Landon Myrie once again getting to the inside.
Well, those two plays for both teams really just felt identical. Finding the open man in the paint, and both offenses are starting to go right now.
Myrie up to 8 on his tally so far. Bryson Curry with a look on the near wing, kicks it to Isaiah Tyson. Back over to Bryson Curry. Couple passes, the width of the floor.
They're playing a little two-man game right now.
Green with the bounce pass inside, finds Smith. Smith off the front of the rim. No good. 3-point game. And a blocking foul called on Hakeem Smith. Couldn't set the feet, and you can see the frustration.
It was a good attempt trying to draw the charge, but unfortunately didn't get the call.
Smith picking up his first of the day on that foul to go along with his 4 points. 2-11. So we take things to the locker room at half.
And here for Princeton, right now they're starting to find more looks in there, as there's a great steal by LJ Green.
Mead Moss coming up with it after the assist from Green there. And Hakeem Smith able to knock down another 2.
Right now, Hakeem Smith is just doing all the fundamental things he needs to do. And that's why he has a lot of points so far in this game. He's getting open looks to the basket. He's just cutting and, able to find himself open.
I mean, we know what Hakeem Smith can do from beyond the arc, but he's been getting it done all day inside the paint as Mead Moss goes up, taking 2 more right back home for the Firebirds. He's up to 5.
Well, he's showing off his athleticism there. A great finish. And there's Hakeem Smith. What a steal.
Yep, coming up with another big turnover here for the Firebirds. Getting going on a run as the ball flies into the stands. Hitting a couple of freshman players in row number 1.
They just got a little too excited right there, but it was a good idea.
Back in for the Firebirds, number 3, Tyson Davis. And number 0, Bryce Curry.
It's also worth noting Coach Fishman sitting down there in the front row after that big win against Princeton a few moments ago. I'll tell you what, this one might not be as exciting, but I couldn't think of a better matchup to round out the night after that one we just saw.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like late in this game though, we're gonna get some fireworks. We're gonna get a lot of threes.
Daniel Jones makes it a 5-point game yet again. Bryce Curry looking to dish it off on that far side wing. Now under 60 seconds to play in the quarter.
See what play West runs here.
Pass to Curry, corner 3, not able to get it to fall. He started hot from beyond the arc. Cooled off a little bit here recently.
And Princeton, there's another fast break bucket. He talked about not letting them get open layups, and right on cue as they get a wide open layup right there.
Myrie picking up that foul as you just heard over the PA system. Myrie's first
LJ Green.
on his day. Tyson Davis set to inbound here for the Firebirds. LJ Green checking back in for the white and red. Here's Preston Robinson dishing it to the corner. It's Tyson Davis. Curry surveys the floor, finds Isaiah Tyson. Now Tyson Davis set to rest for a minute, under 20 seconds to play. West waiting for their look. 13 seconds.
Well, they got to start going soon. No one's really moving.
Tyson Davis trying to use a screen there from LJ Green. Green trying to battle in. Now Tyson Davis using the speed. Back to Green. Deflected out of bounds. Looked like it might have hit before the buzzer sounded, but we will go to halftime regardless. As it stands, it's a three-point ball game. The Firebirds with 30, the visiting Princeton Vikings with 27 as they look not to go 0-2 in this doubleheader. They thought they'd have the first game in this one. Firebirds able to steal that one away from them, and now they look for the clean sweep before these teams rematch later in the season. We'll see you on the other side of the half here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Thanks for joining us on this important doubleheader to the Greater Miami Conference. Taking you along the way tonight, I'm Nick Johnson alongside our analyst Andrew Odell. We'll see you in 10. Back from half here at Lakota West, the final 16 minutes of basketball as part of this Lakota West Princeton Vikings doubleheader. Firebirds to start with the basketball here in half number 2. And a couple of big storylines from the first half. We talked about how similar these teams play, but a lot of the stats very similar as well for a 30-27 ball game as the Firebirds make it 32-27. Both teams from beyond the arc tonight, 2 of 7 from 3-point range.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a tough battle as there's Bryce Curry. What a steal.
I mean, you mentioned his steal numbers early on. He gets another one there and then a rough foul, sending him right into the padding.
Yeah, and Landon Myrie is playing, you know, a physical game right now. He's out there, you know, he's just looking to, you know, get, you know, some contact, get some physicality going out there in that game. But for both teams, you know, shooting has been a struggle and buckets aren't going to come easy, so every possession matters. And, you know, the turnovers that Princeton keeps having is, you know, not going to be a good thing for them.
Bryce Curry at the line here, missing his first. Still a chance to make it a 6-point ball game.
What a rebound from LJ Green.
Unfortunately not able to get that second free throw to fall, but you get a second chance here on offense for the Firebirds. Isaiah Tyson start with it on that wing. Dish to Josh Tyson. Curry tried for the putback there, going all the way up. Got at least a good foot or two off the ground there, not able to have it. As the Princeton Vikings take over, they try a 3 of their own, and it is good. Sebastian Jordan Ramos.
I told you, you know, threes aren't going to come easy for either side, and a 3 is huge in this game, and you can't have turnovers that stop you from having more possessions to shoot more threes.
Princeton foul number 15, Daniel Jones.
But I'm pleasantly surprised from the Princeton shooting. You know, they have not been a great shooting team all year, and they're coming out here and they're firing in the second half.
Quick stoppage in play here as the foul gets called on the Princeton Vikings. Firebirds to inbound it here. Tyson to Tyson. Isaiah. Tyson taking it down here for the Firebirds. Finds Isaiah Meade-Moss. Meade-Moss in that first half, the total minutes leader for these Firebirds. Now Josh Tyson trying to find a lane. He eventually will, but a foul before that. It'll be a Princeton Viking foul. Jordan Ramos called on another. It's his second.
Here for West, they're still trying to get LJ Green involved. Princeton's doing a good job of shutting him down, though.
Tyson a drive where he has to find his brother Isaiah. Back to the wing now, it's Meade-Moss. Bryce Curry in the corner, makes a drive, passes it off. 3 attempts, but the charge turns it right back over to the Vikings before.
Princeton's making some good defensive adjustments. They're starting to collapse on these shooters. There's not as many open threes for West, and for the Firebirds, they just need to be more, you know, quick decision. They're being too indecisive on their passes. It's leading to turnovers.
Josh Tyson scoops it up. Here's Meade-Moss. Fast break. Goes up and another block. How many of those have we seen tonight?
That one was nasty. That was just a great block, but actually, no, there was no foul, but all ball. Just a great block right there.
Inbound here from Josh Tyson. Firebirds keeping control of the basketball. Finds Bryce Curry. Goes up and he lands one now.
And now we got some dunking going on here. This game's just getting started. We're in for a treat in the second half.
Bryce Curry just getting started. Only his freshman year. Firebirds fortunate enough to have 4 years of him up and coming as the Vikings take it right back to a 2-point deficit, 34-32.
Yeah, well, it feels like West should be up a lot more in this game. Princeton's really only down 2, and this game's up for grabs.
Meade-Moss 3 knocks it down.
And now we're starting to see more of those
Firebirds start to pick it
dynamic
off.
offenses.
Mead Moss getting a hand on it. Vikings still able to get a shot off. It goes no good. Bounce pass. Here's Tyson to the inside. Goes up, lands it, and draws the foul.
What a finish. And it looks like we're starting to see, you know, something that we saw similar last game in the girls' game. Just a lot of high-flying offenses, and both teams starting to knock down jumpers. We're going to be in for a good one.
Tyson to Tyson on that connection. It's Josh who will take it to the line. Looking to make this a 3-point play. Opportunity to make it an 8-point ball game.
West now has momentum all in their favor. They just need to keep it coming. And, you know, for Princeton, you need to score on this, you know, next possession.
No good. LJ Green able to get a hand on it. That's going to send it over Princeton's way. LJ Green called on his first foul of tonight's ball game.
And a couple more, you know, score stops for West. This game can start to get away from Princeton. For the Firebirds, you know, an ability to be able to run away with the game here if they can start to continue to get turnovers.
Pass to the corner here for the Vikings. Back up to the top of the floor. Drive to the inside. Princeton finding a lane. Brendan Braddix, the senior, getting going. Deep pass for LJ Green. Looks like we aren't out of football season yet as Green knocks it down. 41-34, 7-point contest.
And West, you know, they're establishing themselves in the paint, doing a great job of it.
That was a great defensive play and an unfortunate foul call there on LJ Green.
And that didn't look like a foul to me, but, you know, a really good defensive possession unfortunately ends in a foul. And Landon Myrie is going to continue to try to, you know, get to the line, get some buckets. He still needs to establish himself, but right now he seems to be the focal point of everything that Princeton's doing right.
Myrie looks for his ninth, no good off the back.
22, Morris Hodge.
Myrie still with another shot to go from the line for the Princeton Vikings. Second on the way. True.
Princeton substitution number 15, Daniel Jones.
Bryce Curry is set to inbound this one for the Firebirds. Had a run going there. Green foul might have slowed things down a little bit. But they cannot let this momentum slip away as tight as this game is.
And here offensively for West, I want to see some cuts as there's a great cut. What a block.
That was a beautiful play designed for Robinson to the inside. Looked like he was going to set a screen. Drew his defender, went to the inside, and he would have had that one, but that was just some great defense there from the Princeton Vikings.
Yeah, and, you know, not much to complain about there for West. He got a good look, but Princeton's defense, I mean, they've got one of the best paint defenses in the GMC, so it's going to be tough to score on them.
There's Bryce Curry, near side wing. Off to Isaiah Tyson. West trying to get their look going. Bounce pass. Here's Curry inside. Hits the Euro as he goes up.
Number 0, Bryce
43 in the score column for the Firebirds.
And there you go, you know, more drives to the basket. They just need to get themselves into the paint and, you know, drive and cut and pass and cut offense.
Vikings with some ball movement on the outside here. Daniel Jones now tries to make his way, passes it back out. 3-point attempt in, it will fall for Braddix.
And finally, Brendan Braddix, the leading scorer, starting to get involved for the Vikings. He's really had a quiet game, but if he can start to knock down those threes, it's going to be, you know, a heck of a matchup late in this game.
Tyson out to Robinson. Robinson no good, just off to the right on the 3-ball. Miscommunication, pass for Smith. Too far behind him.
Substitution number 1, Bryce
Sails into the wall. Firebirds turn it over.
Overall, a good, you know, start to the second half for both teams. Princeton starting to find some good looks from three, and West doing the same. But the Firebirds also getting some great looks in the paint.
Down the floor, it's Jordan Ramos. To the inside, Vikings found their lane, try to pass it out to the corner. Bryson Curry getting a hand on it, intercepts it. Now here's Green. Green using his size to his advantage as he pulls that one in. Now the Vikings keep their momentum going. 3 opportunity, and it is true. Nothing but net on the retaliation tray. 4-point ball game, 45-41 in favor of the Firebirds.
It's true, and we do really have a great matchup here in the second half. It's starting to look like a lot like that girls game that we just saw just, an hour ago. Both teams starting to make shots.
Here's Isaiah Tyson, top of the floor for the Firebirds. Makes a drive inside, goes up, knocks it down. There was contact and a foul called on that inside.
Both teams getting to the basket, whether it's driving and kicking or just driving and going up with it. Both teams getting great offensive looks here.
So Isaiah Tyson able to attempt an and one here. 4 fouls on the day for Daniel Jones after that last call. He's been a key contributor so far today for these Vikings. 3-point play. Up and no good for Isaiah Tyson. 6 points. Deficit for these Vikings as they take over.
Foul number 4, Hakeem Smith.
Hakeem Smith gets called for his second.
316-041.
Well, here, I really think they're going to have to get Sebastian Jordan Ramos involved. He's a great shooter, he's a great ball handler, and he's really setting up a lot of these good looks that they're getting.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the third period. Vikings take over. It's Jordan Johnson to the corner there. 3 ball, no good. Robinson tied up on the inside, able to break free. He's able to find Isaiah Tyson behind the back to Smith. That would have been one of the greatest plays we've seen all night. And we've seen a lot of great plays, but Hakeem Smith able to come up with second chance points nonetheless. 49-41. Vikings down the floor, nearly come up with 2 of their own. Hakeem Smith with the defensive rebound. He's able to find Isaiah Tyson. Firebirds slowly moving down the floor.
Both teams just making some highlight reel plays.
They say slowly down the floor, and then Isaiah Tyson flying there to the inside, unable to knock down the 2.
Yeah, and he's probably the fastest player in this entire game. He can just speed all the way down the court.
That would have been a big 3 for the Vikings.
And right now the Vikings, I feel like they have to get more looks inside. The 3 ball is not really their strength.
Tyson goes up, and that's a big 2. Double-digit lead, the largest lead of the night for either team. It belongs to the Firebirds by 10, 51-41. Under 40 seconds to play in the third.
And West picking up the intensity here. They are starting to really pounce on these Vikings.
Jordan Ramos inside, kicks to the corner. Great look for the Vikings there. They're gonna make that call on the inside on Preston Robinson.
And that's a big call. If that's going the other way, we're looking at a completely different game right now. But now, a huge swing as the Vikings cut it to an 8-point lead.
3-point play opportunity here for the Princeton Vikings. That'll be Amiri Gill, the 6'2 freshman guard, taking to the line, looking to complete the and one. Up, and he's got it.
And Sebastian Jordan Ramos just checked out of the game, so the ball handling for the Vikings is going to look a little different here. We'll see if they can continue to get those looks inside offensively.
Both teams at 5 fouls. That puts them both in the bonus for the final 13 seconds before they reset into the fourth quarter. Bryson Curry with the ball at the top. He's got 7 seconds. Tries to make a drive inside. Step back. Puts up a shot. No good. 3 seconds left. Vikings down the floor. Try to recover it and put up not really a shot, more of a throw. But it is no good. 7-point lead for the Firebirds as we head into our final 8 minutes of the night, barring any overtime craziness. Firebirds sit at 51. The Princeton Vikings sit at 44. Thanks for tuning in to this doubleheader on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Taking you along the way tonight, I'm Nick Johnson alongside our analyst Andrew Odell. We'll see you in a few for the final 8 minutes.
Princeton basketball.
Back from the home of the Firebirds, final 8 minutes of the night. Firebirds leading the Princeton Vikings in round 2, 51-44, after the big girls upset win just moments ago. This game very big for the Firebirds as you take a look at their schedule there. 4 losses on the year, 4 very tight losses, and those are just the games we have on the schedule. There are a couple tournament games in there that we did not show. 1 loss coming in those tournaments. Beaver Creek beating the Firebirds 76-70. This is very much a get-right game for the Firebirds, especially coming off their loss to the St. Xavier Bombers over the past weekend. And they've got a big few weeks of basketball coming up. They're not out of GMC title contention. This game would go a long way in keeping them in that race.
Yeah, and here we have a timeout after Princeton had a 5-second violation. West has trouble getting it inbounds, and both teams are starting to really, amp up the defensive intensity.
For those of you that were not able to attend the game tonight, all proceeds benefiting Coaches versus Cancer, the American Cancer Society, benefiting from tonight's contest. If you were not able to make it out, there's a QR code on the screen. Feel free to donate the girls basketball teams and the boys basketball team here in Lakota West. Encouraging you to donate if you can from home if you were not able to make it out tonight. With that said, for the remainder of the timeout, we're going to take a quick step aside. West with 3 remaining when we return. Off the timeout, it's Mead Moss for the inbound. He's able to find Isaiah Tyson. As we are underway here, getting the 4th quarter off and running on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Big game tomorrow coming up as well. The girls taking on Oak Hills. As a 3 will fall there for the Firebirds. We will be covering tomorrow night's ball game as well. So for those of you listening who are not subscribed, we encourage you to subscribe and catch all kinds of Lakota West athletic action coming to you live from the comfort of your own home. Princeton with a retaliation score there. Landon Myrie going up and snagging 2. 8-point deficit.
Yeah, but how about Josh Tyson for the Firebirds? Finally starting to knock down a 3 in this game. He's a great shooter when he gets open looks.
And both of these teams not too hot in the first half with 3-point numbers. As Jordan Ramos goes up, he's going to draw the and 1.
And that was a great steal and then a really tough finish at the end. I thought the ball was going to be a jump ball. It was great effort from Isaiah Tyson, but Jordan Ramos just able to go up with it and finish.
Looking to make it a 54-49 game. And it is true, 5-point lead now for the Firebirds. Inbound from Bryce Curry finds Josh Tyson. Firebirds down the floor. Bryce Curry up at the point, surveying the floor. Moves his way to the corner. Back up to Isaiah Tyson. Bounce pass inside. LJ Green tries to put a spin on. Not going to be able to go up and get it. Dives to the floor for that basketball, but the Vikings able to come up with it. Quick break. Here's Jordan Ramos. Under the basket, doesn't like the look. He's going to kick it right back out. Finds Braddix. Braddix. Monster 3, not going to fall. Not enough on it. Firebirds take back over. Big defensive board from Mead Moss.
And Myrie's playing really physical under there against LJ Green. A matchup to look for in these final 6 minutes.
There's Isaiah Tyson making a move to the inside. He's going to go up. Not going to bring it down, but he will be sent to the line off the foul.
This is a big moment here for the Firebirds. Can they keep this lead, or will they let Princeton get right back into this game? It's going to be, a big defensive possession coming up after these free throws.
Tyson with his first. No good. Isaiah Tyson, the assist leader for these Firebirds, 2.5 per game on average. Also averages about 6.5 points per game. There's a chance to knock down his 7th with this free throw to make it a 6-point game. No good. Spins off the back of the iron. About 6 minutes remaining as the Vikings take back over. Here's Jordan
Ramos just has a great handle with the ball right now.
Pulling up, unable to get it. Good poke on the basketball afterward, though. And a timeout called by Kelvin Moss, head coach of the Firebirds, as Tyson in a little bit of trouble there. Defense tying him up. Firebirds take one to maintain possession. We'll be right back after the timeout in a few moments on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Here come the Firebirds off the timeout. Kelvin Moss taking his 3rd called timeout of the ball game. As Curry will inbound it there, immediately swatted away by the Princeton Vikings defense. West will maintain possession though. We'll just redo the inbound.
And they're pressing up right now, and someone's gonna have to get open for the Firebirds. They're not having anyone on the ball. It's gonna be hard for these Firebirds to get open against this press.
Pass to Tyson. The Firebirds finally able to move down the floor. He finds Curry. They go back and forth in the backcourt. Curry and Tyson continue their back and forth. Here's Curry from beyond the arc. Gonna continue surveying the floor. Ball gets poked. He's not gonna let it up. Makes a move to the inside, kicks it to Josh Tyson. He tries to find Green, but the pass gets intercepted. Taken over by Jordan Johnson for the Vikings. Johnson making a drive, goes up, and he's gonna land the and one. Vikings crack 50 in the score column, and if they knock down the free throw, it will be a 2-point, 54-52 ball game, as we are real close to that 5-minute mark and the 4th quarter to play.
And that was a really tough finish there from Jordan Johnson. Really impressive. His ability to keep that handle going and then just driving to the basket and taking the physical finish. And right now, Princeton just getting to the basket, using their physicality to get buckets and get fouls as well.
No good. Remains a 3-point game. Still 1 possession. But the Firebirds can breathe a little bit easier off the miss. Now officially under 5 here in the 4th quarter.
And West is a big offensive possession. Can they keep that cushion of being up 2 possessions?
You get a foul called from the inside.
Viking foul number 20, Amir Gill.
That foul, the 2nd Princeton Viking foul of the period. Both teams sitting at 2. And the Firebirds not likely to start running the clock on this possession, but you gotta wonder when they start to run it with a game this close. Hakeem Smith now getting tied up off the inbound. Possession arrow will be called into play. The Firebirds will maintain it, but they give that arrow right back up inside the final 4:45.
And West right now, they just need to calm down. You know, they're just being a little careless with the ball. They need to just settle down, settle into an offense, and just try to get open looks. But Princeton's really making it difficult for them right now.
Isaiah Tyson with possession in the backcourt. Charges it up before bringing back. Tyson tries to make a move to the inside, spins out, finds Mead. Moss! Moss is no good, not enough on the tray ball. Down 3, the Vikings take possession before Hakeem Smith able to come up with the Viking turnover. Isaiah Tyson tries to fight his way through the lane. He's not going to be able to come up with anything, but yet another foul for Amir Gill. The freshman picking up his second in just a matter of a few seconds.
And I have a feeling here, Isaiah Meade-Moss is going to make a big play for the Firebirds. He's a guy that's kind of been a little cold. As there's LJ Green, what a tough finish.
Green going up.
Every time the Firebirds need a basket, LJ Green is right there.
Yeah, Green going up once again, starting to use his size. We've seen him do that a lot tonight, absolutely bullying defenders in the lane. And another cough up right into the hands of Hakeem Smith. It's a 5-point ball game. West takes over with 3:45.
And Jordan Ramos had been having a really good night handling the ball, but there's 2 turnovers, and now his confidence is starting to, dwindle here a little bit.
Here's Isaiah Tyson, fast break in the lane, gets it to Green. Lots of contact in the paint right there. Green gonna fall to the floor. And another foul on Amiri Gill, the 6'2 freshman guard. He picks up his third. And I believe we're still within 60 seconds of when he picked up his first foul. So he's now on foul out watch with 3. I imagine we're gonna see a lot more fouls and the final 3.5 here to play, as close as we are. Vikings have 1 player out on the hardwood with 4 fouls. That's number 15, Daniel Jones, who checks back in.
Here comes Tyson Davis, a great shooter. Look for him to get an open look here.
Isaiah Tyson tries to fight his way inside. He finds Green. Ball movement continues on the outside for the Firebirds as we approach 3 minutes. LJ Green, he puts on a euro on the inside. Green going up and stealing too.
LJ Green, when West needed a basket. 2 amazing finishes, and he's really given them the life they need to pull through in this one. Let's see if Princeton has one more push.
7-point ball game. LJ Green collects his 18th point on that layup. Bryson Curry with possession of the basketball. 2:40 left. Vikings gonna start to kick it into desperation mode just a little bit more with 2.5. Not time to quite call it full desperation mode, but they need points as bad as ever. They also need a stop. Pass to LJ Green, gonna be tipped and intercepted. Fast break for the Vikings. And they're not gonna be able to get it. That's an easy as a look as you're gonna get. And the Vikings not able to come up with it. Jordan Johnson losing out on the 2. And Hakeem Smith not gonna come down with 2 for the Firebirds as we approach 2 minutes.
Landon Myrie made that rim vibrate. I mean, that was just, he made sure that basket was not going in right there. And back and forth down, both teams missing opportunities on layups.
2 minutes, 2 seconds remain in the fourth. Landon Myrie called on his 3rd personal foul. That will move the Vikings to 5 in this quarter, and that will bring the Firebirds to the line. Hakeem Smith will be taking 2. As we said earlier in the ball game, or I believe it was in the girls' game, no more 1-and-1 bonuses. This will be 2 for Hakeem Smith. They already lead by 7. He can make it 9 from the line. No good on attempt number 1.
And West right now, they just got to, as soon as he either makes this or misses this, they got to get right back down on the court. Can't allow any more fast breaks, and they already have. They need to set up their defense and make sure Princeton doesn't get any easy looks. And they also need to make sure they don't foul. You can't stop the clock and give Princeton time to put points on the board while the clock isn't running.
Vikings number 10, Sebastian Jordan.
Hakeem Smith, 50% from the line right there. Able to make it 59-51. 8-point lead for the Firebirds. 2 minutes, 2 seconds on the game clock.
Princeton needs to go faster right now. They don't have much time.
Find Landon Myrie. Quick 3-point attempt, and they knock it down. Not the shot that I would have looked for if I'm sitting on that Vikings bench, but they knock it down nonetheless. Radix able to pick up his 16th points of the ball game. Back to a 5-point deficit now for the Vikings, 59-54. Timeout taken on the Princeton sideline, 1:50 remain. We'll return with the finale of this doubleheader when we return. Tyson Davis set for the inbound off the Princeton Vikings timeout. 5-point game after the Vikings able to knock down a big 3 ball with 1:50 left.
And with the high school rule of there being no shot clock, you know, Princeton's going to have to play really aggressive defense. Whereas, you know, if there's a shot clock, they would just be able to play some tough defense. But now they have to really get up and even foul.
Yeah, and they're gonna resort to that intentional foul there. 4th foul of the day picked up for number 20 in a Princeton uniform, Amiri Gill, the freshman. 2nd Viking with 4 fouls. He stands next to Daniel Jones. To the line for the Firebirds, it's Isaiah Tyson. He is up and no good on his first shot. Best he can do is take the Firebirds to 60, make it a 6-point ball game with 1:42 remaining.
And for West here, to escape with a win today, they're just going to have to make their free throws. And, you know, because at the end of the day, they're going to keep getting fouled. And it's going to come down to whether they can make their free throws or not.
Isaiah. Second falls true. 6-point game. 1:42 and counting. Here's Jordan Ramos. Speedy down the floor. Double dribble called for, and that's going to be costly.
That's a huge play right there. Great defense, force the carry, or the double dribble. And now West can breathe here as the clock's still running.
119 is the intentional foul hits. Actually ticks down to 118 right there at the last second.
Princeton foul number 2, Jordan Johnson.
Isaiah Tyson yet again to be sent to the line for the Firebirds. Another crucial 2 on the way.
Number 2, Isaiah Tyson.
Well, Princeton coming down the floor, they're going to need some threes here. And I think the guy they got to go to is Brendan Braddock. He's just been knocking down everything in the second half.
Tyson once again no good on the first. You can read the frustration on him. Bryson Curry checking in for the Firebirds. Tyson Davis as well getting set in the backcourt.
West here with Preston Robinson in the game. His defensive presence is just so valuable for the Firebirds.
Shot 2 for Tyson. Doesn't land one that time. Still a 6-point game. Preston Robinson with tight defense on the Princeton Vikings here. It's Jordan Johnson to take it down. Johnson escapes, finds a lane, goes up, rejected by Isaiah Tyson. But a foul called and 2 shots about to be taken from the line.
And Jordan Johnson has been really aggressive, just going to the rim. You know, he's just attacking, getting there, and he's been really physical in the second half.
To land both of these would be huge for the Vikings. They can move it to a 4-point game, 60-56. First shot will bounce off the back of the rim. No good. Now the best they can do is 55, which would bring it to a 5-point Firebird lead.
There's also the thought of intentionally missing this and trying to get one of your bigs to get a rebound. But I feel like it's too early for that for the Vikings. Still a minute to go.
Up no good. Jordan Johnson comes up with his own rebound. Tries to find his way to the rim. It's lost. Mead Moss tries to fall on it. He's got it. And a timeout called by head coach Kelvin Moss. That's a smart timeout there with the possession arrow facing Princeton. The Vikings able to preserve it, but the Firebirds drain another timeout. They will only have 1 remaining in the final 60 seconds of competition when we return from Lakota West High School. Tyson Davis with the inbound here for the Firebirds. 57 seconds remain. Deep pass down the floor as the Vikings trail by 6, 60-54. Foul called for. Isaiah Tyson will be the Firebird sent to the line yet again.
Well, West is lucky that Tyson Davis pass was in bounds. It looked like it was going right into that bench, right out of bounds. But luckily for the Firebirds, they keep it in, and now they get free throws.
Firebirds looking to complete the sweep and the doubleheader over the Princeton Vikings. Isaiah Tyson to the line yet again. He's now 2 for 5 from the line in these intentional foul situations. That's a big one to fall for the Firebirds. Tyson with his second. Patton 500 from the line. Out of bounds. LJ Green, the last to get a hand on it. Princeton Vikings basketball. They now trail by 7 after the make from Isaiah Tyson.
Princeton's going to need a 3 here. Well, they don't need a 3, but they did a quick basket.
Johnson down the floor. He's able to find Landon Mary. Mary hands it off. There's that 3, but it won't fall. Too far off to the right. Preston Robinson will take the intentional foul for the Firebirds. And now this one is looking just about over with 37.5 remaining on the fourth quarter game clock.
Yeah, and all West has to do now is just make their free throws, get back on defense, and they should be good in this one.
Robinson to the line for some more. Chance to make it up to a 9-point Firebird lead. First shot up and good for Robinson. 8 points. Now the Viking deficit. Robinson on his second is up and no good. Vikings nearly come up with it. LJ Green with the putback. Green up to 20. 10-point ball game. This win absolutely a team effort as the Vikings able to knock down a 3-ball right there. Absolutely a team effort, as I was saying, but LJ Green, how about the day he's had? 20 points on his scorecard.
Yeah, and like you said, absolutely a team effort, but LJ Green has really stood out as the guy that really won this game for the Firebirds. Just having an amazing night, and a night that he's going to remember.
Firebirds number 2, Isaiah Tyson.
Tyson yet again back to the line. Some deja vu here from the west side. 19 seconds remaining in the contest. After the 3, Tyson is up and good on his first. As we wind down in this ball game, we once again want to thank you for tuning in to this Lakota West student broadcast. Both games here tonight on this doubleheader, as the Firebirds moments away from completing the 2-game sweep. Tyson moves this one away. Clock is going to drain. Nearly loses it there. Well, this game is going to be won for the Lakota West Firebirds. Thanks for tuning in. If you aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel, be sure to do that. We're live, same place, same time tomorrow, 7:30. Or I believe, sorry, 7 o'clock is the tip-off tomorrow for the girls basketball game against the Oak Hills Highlanders. They look to continue their hot streak right here where they knocked off the Princeton Vikings here tonight. Nico Stolenwerk will be on the call with me tomorrow night in that one. But as always, we thank you for tuning in once again. Subscribe, costs nothing to keep up with all these Lakota West athletic events. We will see you on the other side. We'll also see you on Saturday with a combined stream with Lakota East for the girls basketball game on their floor. But until then, especially coming off a doubleheader sweep, as always, go Firebirds.
True.